Do you feel fulfilled in life? The show will begin in 4 minutes. Are you ready? When was the last time you felt betrayed? When was the last time you felt loved? The show will begin in 3 minutes. Are you ready? What did it feel like to be in love? What is the most painful part of being in love? The show will begin in 2 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to make a change? The show will begin in 1 minute. I hope you're ready. The show will begin in exactly 30 seconds. Get ready. Have you ever made the mistake of doing everything for a man? It seems like the more you do, the more he should appreciate you, right? So why is the outcome always the exact opposite of that? Well, on today's show, we're going to be discussing why mothering your man is the absolute worst thing you can do. That way, you know exactly why molding him will only put you in a horrible, terrible position down the line. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. Well, welcome all you beautiful souls. Great to see you. So happy to have you a part of the show. So happy that you could spend this time with me. I hope we're going to have a good show here. Great show here. We got Zyra here, Scotty here, MK here, Patricia here, Asset here. I see Lilo, like Lilo and Stitch here. Oreo is here. Is here. Salma is here. And much more. We got Lenalik as well. Who we got over in the YouTube chat? I see we got Deb, Vicky. We got Ivy, of course. We got Tracy Niles. We got Beatrix. We got Kayla, we got Irina, we got, is BB here? I think I saw, yeah, BB is here. We got Deb here, NW here, Mary Kim is here. Who else? I want to make sure I shout out. Oh, the Soul Sanctuary is here. Welcome. We got Carmen B here, Fash here. We got B as well, Mariana. Welcome all of you beautiful, beautiful people. So good to see all of you all here. Missy America's got a break. I seen someone ask where's Missy America. She's got a little break going on, but she'll be here later this week. Okay, welcome all you beautiful people. So good to have you here. Let's get started. We'll jump right into it. We're gonna be jumping right into the whiteboard today because number one is a forced fairy tale. Okay, let's hop right into our whiteboard. We don't want to mess around. We don't want to play games with it. We got a lot to discuss. I remember yesterday, Ivy was like, no drawings today? Oh, there's going to be a lot of drawings today, okay? Don't any of you worry, okay? We're going to have lots and lots and lots of drawings today. All right, let's hop right into our whiteboard for number one here. This is from the last time that we had a little conversation on the whiteboard, okay? So let's talk about the forced fairy tale and why this is so important to everything we're going to discuss here and why we don't want you mothering your man, okay? So this is the forced fairy tale. Oh, did I spell that right? Fairy tale? Fairy tale? Fairy tale? Yeah, whatever. Fairy tale. Yeah, there we go. Fairy tale. Okay? So, forced fairy tale. Now, this is what happens in your forced fairy tale. So, you have man as he exists. Okay? So, we're going to draw your man as he exists. He's got some big old eyes. Okay? He's got a small nose. And this is his smile. He's got a thin body and some thin legs, okay? This is the actual man. So this is the man. Oops. We'll say the real man. Now, this is you, okay? We're going to draw you. Maybe today you have your hair up in a ponytail, okay? You just wanted to do this real quick. You got some shades on, okay? We'll draw you with some shades. You're smiling because you've got your man. We'll give you a Coke bottle figure here. Okay, this is your Coke bottle figure. And we're going to give you a mini skirt here. And these are your legs, okay? So this is you look beautiful, okay? Don't you worry about your look, okay? You look absolutely gorgeous. Don't you worry about that. All right, so we've got your Coke bottle figure here. All right. You're so beautiful, so amazing. Everyone loves you. Now, this is the thing. All right. And this is the problem with your forced fairy tale and what ends up happening when you mother a man. See, when you're mothering a man, right, you have the real man like we mentioned here. Right. So this is actually him. When you're mothering your man, see, this is the thing. It becomes really hard to accept him for who he is, right? Because you're going to have to accept him for the type of person he is, the way that he talks, the way that he walks. Well, right? So we'll say the way he talks, walks, right? Acts, right? Treats you, right? All the different things all the different things about a human being, right, that you're going to have to accept when you end up with someone. Here's the thing about the forced fairy tale and why this is so important, because you're probably thinking, Tomisin, okay, that's pretty straightforward. See, the thing about the forced fairy tale and how a lot of times you can end up mothering a man is when you don't really like this person. So you don't really like the way he talks, the way he walks, the way he acts, and the way he treats you, okay? He's maybe, he's got a little bit of a slurred speech. He doesn't have the nicest smile. The way he walks is a little bit funny. It kind of irks you, gives you the ick. The way he acts, he doesn't really act, the type of way and the type of manner that you want. He doesn't really have manners. He's not courteous. He doesn't, treat you well. He doesn't treat you like a princess. All the stuff that you would really want in a man, right? That's really who he is, and that's who he's always been, right? And here's the thing. See, what you end up doing when you're mothering your man is you have a really beautiful, handsome man behind him, okay? So we're going to try and draw him real handsome, okay? We're going to give him a beard because maybe you like men with beards, okay? So this man's got a beard, okay? He's got a big smile on him, right? And a full head of hair, okay? You like men with full head of hair with a nice hairline going here, okay? And he's got a beard, okay? And he's got, nice diamond earrings on, okay? And, he's just super buff, okay? Super buff, super strong, super great and amazing looking. Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. He's got shoes, he works out legs, and he's got money, okay? So he's all the things that you would love, right? This is like your dream man. Okay, so here is the thing. See, you got to accept the real man, right? And the real man is not exactly what you want. See, like I said, all the things that come with him, how he talks, walks, acts, and treats you, is not really what you're looking for in a man. See, what you're looking for in a man, right, is way over here. Okay, well, what the heck just happened? That was weird. Is way over here. So let's erase that part. Right? It's right here where your dream man is. So this is what you really want. Okay? So you're going to end up mothering your man because the real man that you're actually in a relationship doesn't embody what you really want. And the man that you really want is way over here, kind of behind him, kind of looks like him, except it's a genetically enhanced version of him. In fact, you know what? Let's even say this, all right? Your real man, his pee-pee is like this, okay? Very small, not very large. And your dream man, his pee-pee is like this, okay? Huge, long, schlong, okay? Everything amazing about this man, right? It's dragging down to below his leg, right? So I say that to say everything about your dream man is exactly what you could wish for. And everything about the real man is not really what you want. But what ends up happening is rather than going initially for what you want, right? What you were always looking for, the character traits, the treatment, especially, and the dynamic of the relationship that you wanted, you end up going for the dream man, the imaginary man that doesn't really exist in this meat suit, right? So we'll call these two things are meat suits, right? These are meat suits. So this is the real person. Meat, I spelled meat wrong. Meat suit, right? These are meat suits, meaning, right, they represent the actual human being, right? And so even your dream man can actually exist in a human being. However, it doesn't exist in that human being. But what do you start doing when you start mothering a man? You start trying to turn him into the person who you're dreaming of. Instead, what you should have been doing this entire time is looking for the person you're dreaming of. You want to know why this is so bad and this is so horrific? Because all your energy is going to be put into trying to turn a guy who is not who you're looking for into a guy who is what you're looking for. Now, this becomes very difficult for you because you start saying to yourself, I don't like the way you act. I don't like the way you talk. I don't like the way you walk, and I don't like the way you treat me. Can you please do all of that differently? You then, along the line, as you're building this relationship, become very frustrated because every time he shows himself to be not your dream man or the man that you're looking for to be in a relationship with, you're upset and you're frustrated. You know who's also upset and frustrated? Him. Because all the time that he's in a relationship with you and he's not what you're looking for, you're unhappy. And every time he's just being himself, you're unhappy. So he's unhappy because you're unhappy, and you're unhappy because he's not who you want. So you spend that entire relationship trying to turn him into who you want. And you waste, remember, you're wasting a lot of energy. We don't want you wasting energy because you only have 100% of your time and energy in this life. And you're wasting a lot of energy in your relationship trying to turn a guy who has never been what you're looking for into a guy that you're looking for. And this is where the confusion sets in for a lot of you, because a lot of you start dating men just simply based on who is interested in you at the time. And when you're dating men just simply based on how much interest they have in you, and you're not looking at your criteria of what you're looking for in return, you end up building relationships with men who aren't exactly even what you're looking to be in a relationship with long term. And so because you're not looking to be in a relationship with them long term, what happens down the line? You're frustrated and you're trying to change the dynamic of this relationship into being more in line with something that you want. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting something different than him. But here's the thing. You also have to go ahead and build relationships and start dating men with intention. What I mean by that is from the very beginning, you should be hyper aware of what it is that you're looking for, because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where down the line, you're thinking to yourself, well, you're absolutely not what I'm looking for, but now I've wasted a lot of my time and energy on you. I've spent a year on you. I've spent 9 months on you, or however long it's been. And so because I've spent all of that time and energy on you, rather than breaking up with you, I'm going to figure out how I can mold you and turn you into my fairy tale. That's why this segment here is called the forced fairy tale, because you have an idea of what you want in your mind, but because you weren't firm on that idea from the very beginning, you're now thinking about how you can change this guy and force him to be who you're looking for. Remember, I've also talked to you guys about the idea that you should detach yourself, even in your relationships, from the idea that the person I end up with has to be you. Okay? Don't ever think to yourself that, hey, just because I like you, just because I met you, just because that you showed me a little bit of attention, right? Attention. Don't think that because you show me he shows you a little bit of attention, that it has to be him that you end up with. Don't also think to yourself that because it's been 9 months or 10 months or 1 year that we've been doing this thing, this back and forth, and I've spent 9 or 10 or 10 months or 1 year of my life invested in you, that because of that, we have to end up in a relationship and we have to make it work no matter what. You need to first be looking for the criteria that fits the type of treatment you want, the type of guy you want to be with, and the capacity and the relationship dynamic that you're looking for. There's nothing wrong. Okay, never forget this. There is nothing wrong with being a woman and knowing what it is you're looking for in a man. Of course, you're going to have different types of men approach you. Of course, you're going to have different types of men try to talk to you, take you out on dates, and get to know you. That doesn't mean you have to accept all of them, like all of them, or be in a relationship with all of them. You're allowed to have the ability to pick and choose who you think is the most suitable partner for you. And that should come from deep within you. Not from what someone else wants for you, not what your best friend wants for you, but what you truly want for you. Because if you don't do that, you're going to quickly find yourself in a forced fairy tale where you're trying to turn the guy who isn't what you're looking for into the guy that you're looking for, and you're going to be very frustrated. Remember, this show is about why you must stop mothering your men, and this is one of the easiest ways you can put yourself in a situation where you start mothering him, because you start thinking, hey, I'm going to raise you, right? So this is what happens, right? So let's draw a little bit. Well, this is our second half of our drawing. So you start thinking to yourself, since I have a dream man in mind and you're not my dream man, this is what you start doing in your forced fairy tale. Okay. So you have this man here. We'll just draw him real quick. Okay. He's smiling because he thinks everything's all good. And you're over here with your ponytail. Okay. Right. And you're feeling good, dandy, and great. So you start thinking, because I want a dream man, right? I'm looking for a dream man. So you start thinking, hey, well, I can raise you into my dream man. Okay, raise you as a dream man, right? I can do things, mold you, right? So how do you raise this man? How do you raise him? You mold him, right? You show him how to act, right? You, what else do you do? You beg. You do what you teach, right? Teach him how to do everything, be a man, right? Teach him how to be a man, right? And you plead all these things that you're going to do, right? You're going to mold him, show him how to act. You're going to beg. You're going to teach him how to be a man. You're going to plead all this stuff you're doing to try to turn him into the man you're looking for, thinking that, hey, when I put in all this work, I'm going to eventually be left with my fairy tale man. In reality, you end up left in a nightmare. We're going to explain that at the very end. So I want to wrap it all together by giving you all of this, right? So you make the mistake of thinking, hey, because I want you to be in line with what I think is my dream man and the man that I'm looking for, rather than actually just searching for that man or, meeting and dating guys until I find that man, I'm just going to date you and figure out how I'm going to turn you into that man. And remember, like I said earlier, you only end up being frustrated, and he ends up being frustrated because he's never going to be that man. And you also end up being frustrated because every step of the way, it's so hard to try to get your relationship to look like you want it to look, right? And you're starting to work backwards. Does that make sense to you guys so far? Why that is a no-no, okay? And why we don't want you doing that. We don't want you in a forced fairy tale where you're trying to raise men because you want them to be like the dream man that you're looking for, right? Okay, damn, I'm like spitting the water out. That's nasty. Some of you might be into that. Does that make sense to you guys so far? And why we don't want you doing that, we don't want you turning men into what you're looking for because they're not what you're looking for. We want you going about your relationships from the very beginning, identifying what you're looking for. Okay. And I mean that emotionally. I mean that spiritually. I mean that physically. If you want a big, long schlong, whatever it is that you're looking for, right? You want a big boy like they be saying on TikTok? No. You want a big dog like they say on TikTok now? That's the new TikTok trend that the kids are going with. Go ahead and search for that, and go ahead and don't commit yourself to a man until you find what it is you're looking for. Not doing it the opposite way where you get a small pup and then you're trying to turn him into a big dog. All right. We don't want that for you. So that is number one. Okay. Now, so number one was forced fairy tale. Now, number two is the horrible outcome in which when you allow a guy to be less, he does less. So number two is be less, do less. See, this is the thing. And this is the mistake that you have to understand. When you begin mothering a guy, you are asking of him less. See, you think that, hey, if I'm mothering him, I'm telling him to do this and I'm telling him to do that. I'm telling him to do this and I'm on his back and I'm making sure he's doing. You're actually asking less of him when you begin to mother him, even if you're asking more of him to do more and you're trying to stay on top of him. Why? Because what you're actually asking of him is to not be smart and intelligent enough to do for himself or to do for you or to put his best foot forward into this relationship, right? What you're actually asking of him is to do nothing and allow you to be the person thinking of what he needs to do. So instead of actually coming off of his chair or off of the couch, being a better man for you and himself, he gives that responsibility to you because he's beginning to learn in this relationship that you will gladly take on that responsibility. So what do, right? You plan all the dates because you don't trust him to be able to plan dates. You make sure that everything is on time and on schedule for both of your lives because you don't trust him to have the ability to do that. What do? You start doing things like, oh, you go and call and try and get him jobs. You write his resume and you send in his job letters for him while you're also dealing with your own job stuff. You try to bring him into your job so that he can get interviews and he can start making more money and he can be able to take you out and stuff like that. And all these different things that you start doing, right? Thinking that, oh, I'm asking more of him so that he can be more of a man and then he'll be able to take care of me and then our relationship will be good. But what you're actually doing is training him to do less because you're asking less of him when you're doing all of the work. We don't ever want you in a relationship where you are the boyfriend and the girlfriend. We want you to be a girlfriend, and we also want you to get princess treatment. I can assure you, you will never receive princess treatment from a man you train to do less because you're training him to be less. See, the thing about it is, guys are actually, as shocking as it is, intelligent enough when they want to be to actually get off of their chair and do things. When they really want to be and they really want to do the thing. See, when they don't want to do the thing or they don't have the interest level in doing the thing, that's when you start working, that's when you start seeing problems. But here's the thing. You're worried in your relationships thinking to yourself, but Tomisin, if I don't ask him to take me out on dates, he'll never take me out on dates. But Tomisin, if I'm not on his back about texting me all the time, then he'll never text me. But Tomisin, if I don't make sure that my schedule is good and his schedule is good, then we're never going to see each other. But Tomisin, if I don't accept us just going, and staying at his place and hanging out and eating Uber Eats on my Uber Eats account and watching Netflix on my Netflix account, then I'm never going to see him. That is precisely, exactly what I want. I want you to be forced to realize with the men that you're in relationships with, whether or not he actually has a level of interest in you required to build a relationship off of. Okay? You're going to eventually show the man that you're interested in interest back. Okay? We're going to have this discussion today. And there's going to be a time and a place for that. But that time and place only comes after he's shown you a level of interest and commitment to this relationship that when you now invest into him, you're investing in someone who's actually going to be here for the long term. We don't want you in a situation where you're growing a relationship with someone who isn't properly invested into you. And we, of course, don't want you invested into someone who isn't properly invested in you. And so this is why it's so important, right? That if you have the expectation that the guy that you're in a relationship with it is your job to make sure that this relationship is maintained and make sure you do this and make sure you do that because you have this fear that if you don't do that, there will be no relationship. That's what I want. Not that I don't want you to have love and I don't want you to be happy, but I want you to realize that there is no relationship if you don't do all the work. Why? Because the quicker you realize that, it'll be painful, I know, but the quicker you realize that, the quicker you'll realize that this is not for you. Because you're only going to end up having to expend more and more and more energy trying to keep the relationship going. There will be a point where you put in your own investment and you show him interest back and you do nice things for him as well. However, you always want to make sure that the guy you're investing yourself with has the proper and appropriate level of interest in you, that you're not overextending yourself trying to do the absolute most for the relationship to keep the relationship intact, okay? We want you building with people that actually want to build with you, because that's one of the main problems that a lot of you are facing. You're building with men that don't really have any serious intention of building with you. And you're holding on to the relationship and hoarding it, thinking that, okay, if I scramble and do this and I scramble and do that and I make sure that I'm on top of this and I take myself out and him out and I plan this and I schedule this and I call him every day and I text him every day, all of that stuff will allow him to realize that he wants to be in a relationship relationship with me, and I'll be able to keep my relationship because I do everything necessary to keep this relationship, okay? Unfortunately, for you as the woman, you will only end up really frustrated and really used and really taken advantage of when you run around like a chicken with your head cut off, thinking about how you can do everything to make this relationship work. That is not your job, okay? It really isn't. It's his job to show you interest, and of that interest, he wants to get to know you and put his best foot forward in the relationship. And see, the thing is, when you expect that of him and you expect him to have the ability to say, I want to be a better partner, I want to be a better man, I want to be able to take care of you, then you don't have to ask a whole bunch of things of him. In fact, all you have to do is respond to him in a particular way or withdraw from him in a particular way when he doesn't do the things that you want. And because of his intention to be with you and grow with you, he will gladly adjust himself. Instead of you having to beg him to adjust things or beg him to change things or beg him to apologize or pleading for him to apologize or see you or notice you or want to do the right things in a relationship, all you'll have to do when you withdraw is say, okay, I forgive you, or okay, we can move forward when he says, hey, I want to know why you're upset and I want to fix this and work on our relationship, okay? See, the toughest thing for you in a relationship when you're mothering a man is to be in a place where you're like, well, Tomisin, how do I get my guy to act right? Because I feel like I have to scream, I have to yell, I have to plead, I have to beg just to get him to do the right thing and to do the bare minimum. And my answer to you is you shouldn't have to do that. But that doesn't start halfway through the relationship. That starts at the beginning of the relationship. Right? Where you're not begging and pleading just for him to show interest in you, be intentional with you, and be consistent with you, okay? If you're already having to beg and plead from the very beginning, then this is not it's not going to be a very good ending for you, and we don't want that for you at all, okay? Does that make sense to you guys so far? Right? Kubi says, at first I treat them the way I want to be treated. If they show me they take that for granted, now I treat them how they treat me. Of course, I mean, the main thing I want you all to be focused on in the beginning is doing nothing and allowing yourself to receive and analyze his actions, right? Like I say, not only do you have your criteria of what you're looking for, but you also want to be thinking to yourself, what is his level of interest in me, and gauging that. And you don't want to overstep. When I say overstep, I just mean you don't want to take over the process of gauging his interest in you. By doing so much, you're not even able to see if he has real, genuine interest in you, okay? Because you can go on 10 dates in 10 days with the guy if you really press enough, but that doesn't necessarily mean he had enough interest in you to go on 10 dates in 10 days with you. And what you'll realize is after a while of, forcing these 10 dates in 10 days, you're going to realize when you don't force the dates to happen, there are no dates. So the guy you were going on dates with, thinking you're building something with, you were actually pursuing. And now that you stop pursuing, you're left void. We don't want that for you, but that's what happens when you start mothering a guy. Because I don't just mean mothering him by, scraping, cleaning the pots and pans and, washing his underwear and washing his socks and folding his clothes. I'm also talking about mothering him when you take the emotional space and weight that he is supposed to carry. So when he is building a relationship with you, he's supposed to be showing you interest. He's supposed to be wanting to take you out. He's supposed to be consistent with you. He's supposed to ask you out. He's supposed to be capable of planning dates. All of these things that he's supposed to do and take up that emotional weight and space in the relationship, you are now doing for him. That is also a version of mothering him, if that makes sense to all of you, okay? Right? Does that make sense? I hope it does, okay? Someone says, I have a question. Ask your question. Right? So Anna says, how about sending his application to med school? No. Now, there's nothing wrong if your man asks you for help in an area of expertise that you have expertise. That's a totally different story. What I'm talking about is doing his job for him. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're saying, baby, you got to get into med school. So why don't we together study your med stuff so that we can make sure that you get into med school, or we can make sure you ace your... No. Let him, of his own desire to do well for himself, figure out how he's going to make his life work. Now, if he asks you for help, that's a different story, right? The intention of wanting to do better for himself and better for the relationship should lead him to sometimes ask you questions in your area of expertise, or whether it be to come to you to ask you, hey, how can I be a better partner to you? Things like that. Yes, of course, you can give him answers. Yes, of course, you can help him. What I don't want you doing is doing the work for him when he hasn't even asked you for help or asked you for advice, because you know this will be better for him. What I don't want you doing is saying to yourself, well, since you are so busy that you can't ask me on a date, I'll plan the date. I'll pick the spot. I'll ask you if you're free. I'll text you. I'll call you. I'll make sure that we can go out on this date and book this reservation, so that by the time we sit on this date, it's all my work, instead of you doing anything. He didn't ask you to do that. He didn't need your help doing that. And you did that because you wanted to feel like you're getting somewhere in this relationship, and building something with him, when in fact you're building something with yourself. Okay? So when your man asks you for help, that's not mothering him. But when you go out of your way to do for a man when he hasn't even asked your help or asked your advice or asked your opinion or perspective, then that means you're mothering him. Okay? You're trying to turn him or do for him what you want for him because you think that will make him a better man to you and a better partner to you. When in reality, he should already want that for himself before even you want that for him. Does that make sense? Okay? Coco says, do less to be more, ladies. Precisely. Okay. So number one was the forced fairy tale. Number two, you be less. If you allow him to be less, then he does less. Okay. Number three is what I call the cement theory. Okay. Now, this is very interesting, okay? And I actually want to draw this illustration. I've actually talked about this before, but I want us to draw this illustration out so that you guys can all understand this. And I think it perfectly applies to everything that we're talking and discussing about here, okay? So we're going to talk about number three, which is the cement theory. So we're going to hop right back into our whiteboard here and discuss, okay? So this is essentially why the cement theory, and this is like my own little theory, okay? Why the cement theory is so interesting, and why I want you to not only apply this, in just what we're talking about today, but I want you to start thinking about the cement theory as it relates to all of your relationships for the rest of time, because I think it'll really change your mind here, okay? So let's write out the cement theory. So this is the really interesting aspect of the cement theory. In the cement theory, see, let's use the analogy first, right? So in the cement theory, you're going to have, let's say we got a truck here. So we got a big truck here that's got this little scoop here to pour out cement, okay? So this truck here, you got wheels on the truck, right? And this truck here is, I love drawing this stuff. This cement truck is pouring out cement. So you got cement pouring out here, right? And on the street, right? It's pouring out cement on the street, this winding road. Right? So we call this winding road here, right? This is the sidewalk. And so you have a whole bunch of cement pouring out onto the road from the cement truck onto the sidewalk. So now in the first, let's say the first 24 hours, okay? So in the first 24 hours of the cement pouring, right? The cement is going to be very moldable. Why? Because you need to be able to spread the cement over here and spread it over here, get some over here, get some over here. You got to be able to smooth it out, even it out so that everything is nice and smooth. In that first 24 hours, you want to be able to make sure that there's no cracks in the cement, everything works well. And when people walk along this sidewalk, that there's no issues in the cement pouring or how it's molded or anything like that. That's in the first 24 hours. You got options to move it around and get it just how you like it. Now, here's the thing though. See, after the first 24 hours, as you get into 1 week, 2 weeks, and then let's say 1 month, right? See, the cement is a little bit more filled in here, okay? So let's shade this in a little bit. And see, your cement now has went from something you can mold on the sidewalk here, and it's pretty damn hard. And so it becomes really difficult to mold this cement anymore the same way you could in the first 24 hours, because now that you've molded it and let it dry and let it sit, and you want to go back and say, hey, I actually, made a mistake. We don't want it to go down this sidewalk. We want it to go down this other pathway over here, and we want to spread some cement over here as well. Well, now it's a lot harder to get this cement over here and mold it and shape it in the way that you want. Or let's say, for the sake of argument, in the process of building this, you forgot a spot, and in some places there's cracks, in some places there's issues, in some places things got to be fixed. And you're like, oh boy, we got to redo this cement job because it's messed up, it's uneven, it's cracked up, and this is not good. However, this is now 1 month in, right? This is 1 month in. And so the cement is hard now, right? Meaning it's not going to be able to be molded anymore. It's not going to be able for you to fill in cracks and make it nice and even. Because the opportunity to make it nice and even and to fill in the cracks and to get it all the way that you wanted to get it was at the very beginning in that first 24 hours. So if you in that first 24 hours were being impatient, or not thinking about the future, or not thinking about how this is actually going to harden and set in stone, you're going to be in a place down the road where you're unhappy with the job of the sidewalk here, because you're thinking to yourself, I wish I could have made it more even over here. I wish I could have filled in these gaps over here. I wish I wasn't in such a rush in that first 24 hours. Because when you look back on it and your cement now on your sidewalk is hardened, you're going to be like, all the mistakes that I made in that first 24 hours hurt me for the rest of my life, because now this sidewalk is garbage forever. I can't go back and remold this sidewalk. I can't go back and redo this job. Every time I walk down this sidewalk, it's going to be cracked. People are going to complain. People are going to trip. It's going to be uneven. And I've done a bad job that can't be undone. And so the same thing applies in your relationships. See, the best way to have the relationship that you're looking for, and specifically the relationship dynamic that you're looking for, is to make sure that you address the things that are most important to you at the very beginning. So you need to make sure that the way he's treating you is in line with how you expect to be treated. You need to make sure that he is respecting you the way you expect to be respected. You need to ensure that the way he's approaching this relationship is the way that you expect a man who you're going to commit yourself to is going to approach the relationship. If you identify very early on that these things aren't in line and you see these issues occurring from the very beginning, you either need to set the record straight, meaning that, hey, I'm not going to accept this, and if this behavior continues, then I'm Audi 5000, or you need to just simply walk away from the relationship, because these things that happen in the very beginning are only going to harden and set in stone. And so if you allow them to happen thinking, oh, well, he goes out till 4 a.m. and he drinks all the time, but it's not really a big deal because who cares right now? We're just having fun. I don't have to take it that serious. I don't need to care about it that much because, we're having fun and it's a good time. He's having a good time. I'm having a good time. But what ends up happening is 1 year from now, the thing that you were saying, oh, I don't need to worry about this, I'm just having a good time, is now a really big issue for you. And now you've went from being, oh, he's such a fun-loving guy. He's outgoing. He likes to have fun and drink with his friends. Not a big deal that he comes back till 4 a.m. I'll allow it. I don't need to say anything. Now you're having conversations every single weekend about him going out and drinking with his buddies, okay? And now you're finding it really hard to be in a relationship with this man, saying to yourself, damn, I really don't like the fact that you go out and get drunk every weekend. But I should have addressed this at the very beginning. And if I didn't like this and I seen this ongoing even after addressing it, then I should have just walked away. Because now I'm in a year-long relationship with the guy that I'm having to argue with about going out and drinking with his friends. And I'm having this ongoing issue with the guy about going out and drinking with his friends. Another example of that would be respecting your boundaries. Let's say at the very beginning, you meet a guy and you're like, oh, I just want to have fun. I just met this guy at the club. He's a good time. I don't want to take things too seriously. So let's say for the sake of example, when you first meet this guy at the club, you're like, oh, I'm not one of those girls you can just sleep with on the first night. I'm so much more different than all the other girls. We're not going to sleep together. We're not going to do anything. I'm just, such an evolved girl that, none of the stuff you do with any of these other girls, you're going to be able to do with me. And then lo and behold, you're vibing with him. You're having conversation with him. You're getting drunk with him. You're off that Casamigos with him. That Casamigos goes straight to in between your legs. Now you have a second heartbeat in between your legs. You go home with him. And lo and behold, all the stuff you were talking about that you wouldn't do in the club, you're now doing, and your legs are literally behind your head. And he's jackrabbiting himself inside of you for 90 seconds or less. Usually less. And so I say that to say, now that you've done that with him, you've now shown him that he doesn't have to respect your boundaries, because when you say something, it doesn't really mean anything. But you want to know what happens? This is actually you pouring your cement. So this is the first 24 hours of you pouring your cement. And now down the line, when you start talking about things that you won't appreciate, or the way that you go about things, or boundaries that you have, or standards that you have that you're never going to change on and you're never going to compromise on, that is a must for any man who gets in your life, you know what he's going to say? Cool story, bro. You said that one time and I slept with you literally after a couple hours after you were said that. So he starts to recognize that I don't have to actually take seriously anything that you say. I don't have to abide by any standards or rules that you set. There are no real expectations here, and I can just do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want to do it. And so you start to have this cement dry and harden in a place where he doesn't feel it's necessary to respect your boundaries. Now you're looking around like this and you're saying, Tomisin, how do I get a man to respect my boundaries? You don't do that halfway through the relationship. You do that at the very beginning of the relationship. That way you let that cement dry and harden in a place where he understands, I have to respect your standards and your boundaries. Okay, there is no other option. We don't want you in a position where you're allowing that cement to harden, where you're someone who just says yes to anything or just allows anything to slide. Because down the line, when you're trying to undo that, because a lot of you come to me and you're like, Tomisin, I've done absolutely everything wrong in my relationship. How do I undo it? The truth of the matter is, it's very difficult. It's very difficult once you've allowed that cement to dry to start undoing that. Once you've allowed a guy to walk all over you, now you want to undo that. Once you've allowed a guy to overstep all of your boundaries and you forgive him over and over again, it's very hard to undo that. Because the moment you undo that, he's going to say, hold up here, Missy. Our cement dried in a place where I get to walk all over you. I get to use you for what I want, and I don't have to respect your boundaries. So why are we changing things up? It was working perfectly for me, where I got to take advantage of you, use you for how I wanted to use you, and never actually have to apologize to you or think about you or better this relationship. Why are we switching it up now? You've been watching this silly guy show. Turn that silly guy show off. Stay here with me in this horrible relationship where you have no idea where things are going and I get to get everything I want and you get nothing. Okay. Turn that Players Club stuff off. That's toxic. Okay. And that's what's going to happen to you, because you're going to be thinking, how do I undo all of this so that it doesn't happen, when that's what you should have been thinking about from the very beginning, unfortunately. Because if you don't, you're going to find yourself in a situation where, see, like I said, this episode is called Why You Must Stop Mothering Men. And one of the ways you're going to end up doing that is by allowing the cement to dry in a place that you don't like, And when you allow the cement to dry in a place that you don't like, you're going to start thinking rapidly all the ways, how can I undo this? How can I get him to like me now? How can I get him to like respect me now? How can I set these boundaries now? And so you start mothering him in a way where you're now trying to mold him and turn him into the guy you're actually looking for and get the treatment you're actually looking for, instead of doing that at the very beginning, not by your words and not by begging him and by pleading with him, but by simply using the fact that because he's showing interest in you and wants to get to know you, you set the criteria and the expectation of any man who's going to have access to you. This is what standards he must meet, period. And that's how you receive that, okay? But because if you're doing that down the line, you're going to end up mothering him. You're going to end up doing all the work, and you're going to end up trying to change him into the guy you're looking for instead of him being the guy you're looking for, okay? Does that make sense? Nick says, I like you. Where were you when I needed your input when I needed it last season? Cement is lumpy AF. It's tragic, but I promise you the timing is always perfect. So now that you're learning it, you're going to be able to utilize it and implement it. We want you to be able to learn and grow. We all make mistakes, okay? Someone probably coming in is probably like, what is this show? Players Club, and he's got an illustration of cement. This don't make no type of sense, okay? It's okay if you're new here, okay? There's a lot to learn. So, does that make sense to you guys, right? The cement theory and why that's so important, right? So, number one, make sure we got this here. Number one was the forced fairy tale. Number two, be less, do less. Number three was the cement theory. Now, number four, this is stop pooping time, because honestly, this is the most tragic part of the show here. Number four, you need to stop mothering men because you're going to be dry as a desert. I don't know. I was thinking about how to say this nicer. I was thinking about how to make this a little bit more lighthearted. But the truth of the matter is, you going to be so dry. You gonna be so dry, so unattracted to that man when you're doing everything for him. I know, see, here's the thing. When you first start off and you're mothering him, it's so cute. Oh, I take care of you. I do this for you. It's like I got a little kid. I got a little child. You know, I tell you to do this and I tell you to do that, and I put all my effort into you. And you know, you do some things when I ask, and it takes up a lot of your brain space, right? It takes up a lot of your energy. So when you're younger and you're less used to this, you're thinking, oh, this is fun. It takes up so much of my time. I gotta make sure I stay on top of you for everything so that we can have this relationship. And so because you don't have anything else to do and you have that extra energy, you're like, oh, this is fun. It takes up so much time. As time goes on, it stops being fun. It starts being taxing. And like Jovan just said, it starts being exhausting. And you start saying, gee, you know, I really would love some space to just be a woman here. I really would love some space to be in my feminine energy here. I really would love to feel like I can get some princess treatment without having to like crawl on the floor and beg for it, without having to like hold a knife to your neck and ask you to give me that. Excuse me. I really would love to feel the intention in our relationship without me having to spell it out to you how you should have intention and consistency in our relationship. I really would love to feel like I'm not carrying this entire relationship because it's no longer fun, it's no longer cutesy, it's no longer demure, it's now just annoying. And you're going to be dry as a desert, truthfully. You're going to be wondering why the guy that you've invested so much time and energy in, you feel no attraction to and no desire for. And then you're going to be in a position where he's jackrabbiting himself inside of you after you have been the boyfriend and the girlfriend, and now you're staring up at the ceiling, counting ceiling tiles because you're so detached from this relationship because you don't feel at all yourself because you're the boyfriend and the girlfriend. And you feel lonely even in a relationship with another human being. We don't want that for you. We want you to feel heard and seen. We want you to feel desired, and we want you to feel like a guy actually has the intention to be with you and grow a relationship with you that you don't have to carry. So we don't want you making the mistake of doing this because, like I said, the mistake is thinking, oh, well, I do it at the very beginning and it's cool because it takes up all of my time and my energy and I'm young and I have so much extra time and energy. So when I do this for him, maybe one day he'll turn into the guy that I'm looking for. The reality of it is he will never become the guy that you're looking for if he doesn't already have the desire to be the guy that you're looking for. I know that it sounds really silly and dumb, but the only time guys ever improve, get better, become the guy that you're looking for, you're a Prince Charming, sweep you off your feet, is by having that internal desire to be that for you. It's not something that you put a little potion in his drink, he drinks it, and all of a sudden he wants to be your perfect man. He either has that within him because of his desire for you and desire to grow this relationship with you, or he doesn't. And if he doesn't, you need to be able to sit back, take a deep breath, and realize that he doesn't. Not stand straight up and start thinking, okay, now it's time for me to get to work. Because the reality of it is, as you're getting to work with your hands, in between your legs gets drier and drier and drier. Okay? Until you have no mental, physical, or spiritual connection with him aside from doing for him and turning him into just a serviceable human being. Those of you who have made the mistake of doing that before know exactly what I mean and exactly why this can be like a nightmare, truthfully. Because now you're in a relationship with a guy, because remember, like I said earlier, when you ask him to do less, he becomes less. So the less you ask of him, because you do everything of him, the less he ends up doing. And then there becomes this snowball effect where at a certain point, you're in an extreme situation of doing absolutely everything for him while he does nothing for you. And you're desperate for just something, to feel something in the relationship other than putting in all the work and being a boyfriend and a girlfriend. We don't want that for you. Okay? So, number one was the forced fairy tale. Number two was be less, do less. Number three, the cement theory. Number four, being dry as a desert. And number five, this is the worst part of it all. Truthfully, the worst part. Truthfully, the most horrific part. Truthfully the nightmare. The absolute worst part of mothering a man and why you must stop, because this is so painful. Number five, he will gift your creation. This is so painful. You will invest years of your life trying to build this man up into just something serviceable, showing him all the ways he needs to treat you, begging him to be better, begging him to respect you, begging him to understand how to give you princess treatment, how to do for you, how to be consistent with you. Oh, you'll be on your hands and knees, literally and figuratively, begging him to be that for you. You're going to do this. You're going to write his resumes. You're going to help him apply for jobs. You're going to get him money. You're going to upgrade his style. You're going to get, change his hair color, change his aesthetic. You're going to grow him from the ground up, right? He's going to be like your little seedling. You're going to water his soil. You're going to grow him from the ground up. Do absolutely everything for him. And then once he's sprouted into this beautiful human being that is finally serviceable as a boyfriend, you want to know what he's going to do to appreciate you for all your hard work that you've done? You want to know what happens after that? After you mother him and grow him to a serviceable human being? He takes all the work that you put into him, all the investment that you put into him, and he goes and he looks for a woman who would have been out of his league before, and he goes and chases and pursues after that woman. And you're sitting here like Boo Boo the Fool in shock, thinking to yourself, oh my God, I'm glitching because I just invested so much time and energy into that human being. And now he has taken that, all of that investment, and he has went and given that to another woman. I don't even get to enjoy all of the work and trauma that I put myself through to get a serviceable boyfriend. It is so painful. I don't even wish that experience upon you. Which is why I don't want you meeting men and figuring out how you can build them up from scratch. You're not doing that. We want you meeting men and figuring out if how they exist is what you're looking for. Because the reality of it is there are a lot of women who will build those men up, get them to where they need to be, and they'll go and give that to some woman who never even put in any of that work. And their life will be easy. Meanwhile, you were doing all the hard work, carrying the relationship, being the boyfriend and the girlfriend. And because he had so much excess energy, he got to take that excess energy, invest into himself. And finally, when he's built up to where he needs to be, he'll go and get the girl who would have been definitely out of his league and never even looked in his direction if he was the Dusty he was before. Okay, I know you guys hear Shira say all the time, not to date Dusties. There's a reason for that. Okay, not that Dusties can't turn their life around and be better men and all that good stuff, but the reality of it is, if they had no ambition before, they're a Dusty. They have nowhere to go. They have no direction or anything like that. Don't waste your time and energy on those men. Let those men die out. Let them stop procreating. They don't get no women. Okay, you realize that's how it was in the cavemen days. You do know that, right? All the most powerful, strong hunters. I'm a strong hunter. All of the best hunters in the land, the most intelligent men, the powerful men, they slept with all the beautiful women, all of them. The big, strong hunters with long schlongs, all the soy boys, they had to sit in the corner whimpering, barely getting a piece of deer meat and having to sip on their dirty water while they watched all the strong, capable cavemen pound all the women in the village. You do understand that's how the world worked back in the day, right? You do understand that. So I say that to say, don't think that you got to reverse the way we have been working as human beings, where you start giving yourself to all the small little soy boys who can't do anything for you, sitting in the corner because you feel bad for them. Don't feel bad for them. Okay? Don't feel bad for them. You give yourself to a big, strong man, a big dog who can actually take care of you and do the things that you need. Not the small little soy boys in the corner who can't even ask you out on a date. You're not doing that job for those men, okay? They can either get the courage to be a man, build themselves up, figure out what they want in life, and then go after you, or they don't get you. Because you're only going to be with the big dogs who can actually do something for you. And I really mean that, okay? Please don't let that go over your head. You're not here to grow men up from scratch and build the soy boys up because you feel bad for them, okay? So anytime and I say that to say, anytime you encounter a man in a relationship where you start feeling the need to like build him up because you like feel like, oh, but I just feel like since it's 2024, you just don't know how to treat me. Or since it's 2024, maybe you're just too sad or too lonely or too shy to be able to ask me out on a date. Forget all of that. Okay? Forget that. This whole idea, oh, I like shy guys, and shy guys, they don't know how to ask me out on a date because they're too shy. Cool. They can go be shy and they can jerk off with their video game controllers, okay? They can bust nuts all over their video game controllers and bust nuts and wipe it off with their crusty socks. They can be single forever. If they're too shy to ask you out on a date, they'll be single forever. You don't do work for men because you feel bad for them. They be shy in the corner and they can wank themselves off to watching you sleep with a big, strong, big dog. Okay? That's what the soy boys do. Okay? They don't get access to you if they're too shy to do anything with you. I honestly mean that, because some of you make that mistake of feeling sorry for men and thinking that it's now your job to turn him into a man. It's not. Okay? Let his father raise him, let his mother raise him, let his family raise him. It's not your job. When you meet him, he either can treat you well and be the man that you need him to be, and if not, perfectly fine, you'll go be with a big dog. Okay. Right? Does that make sense? And I really mean that. It might sound mean, it might sound selfish, but you got to be looking out for you first. The reality of it is you can't build a relationship out of a man that can't even be a man. Okay. And you're not going to teach him how to be a man. You're not going to grow him into a man. You shouldn't even have the desire to do that. Okay. It's a waste of your time. Because like I said, he's only going to end up taking that and he's going to end up giving that to someone else. All right. Don't waste time. Ambi donates $5 in the YouTube chat. Thank you so much, Annie. And thank you to Levane and Maya and all the rest of you in the TikTok chat that donated some coins as well, okay? I know you guys found that probably funny. So do you guys have any questions about what we just discussed today and the 5 points that we just discussed today, okay? So forced fairy tale, be less, do less, the cement theory, dry as a desert, and gifting your creation, okay? Rebecca said, how can we donate? It depends where you are. So if you're on TikTok, I guess you can donate coins, although I know that donating with coins is a little bit harder. It's easier to just donate on YouTube because I know YouTube, you know, Google, it's a lot easier of a process. So you can do that on either one because I'm live on TikTok and YouTube, okay? I think it'll probably be easier for most of you to donate on YouTube, I'm assuming, because, you know, the donations be going crazy on YouTube, all right? So does that make sense to all of you beautiful, beautiful people, all right? Ivy said, that's why I say, that's why girls say they like older, I think you might say that's why guys say they like older women because they know what they want. It's true. And there's nothing wrong. Don't think that because you're a woman that you shouldn't know what you want or you should be confused by that or you should be waiting on men to show you if you know, what you want by them treating you a particular way. Know what you want already. That way, when guys come into your life, you can't easily be tricked into, you know, wasting your own time on a guy who isn't what you want. Because sometimes that might end up happening to you where you waste a lot of time with guys thinking that, hey, I'm not sure what I want, so I'll just spend time with you until I realize if I like you or not. And that's not the way to go about it, okay? Lorraine said, I'm so glad I tuned in tonight, Thompson. I'm glad you tuned in as well, okay? I think it's Mohi says, younger guys like older women, but older men like younger women. Well, that's a dynamic for a different reason, okay? But also, you'll be surprised. A lot of guys are into different things, right? Does that make sense? The Soulful Sanctuary says, but for real, the men my age think that they are bachelors, but I'm going to work on myself. I'm reading and journaling. Well, of course, you have to understand. You also have to understand when you're dating men, yes, you're going to meet a lot of people that might think a particular way or act a particular way, but that isn't necessarily representative of everyone. And a lot of times, if you want to start meeting different types of men, then you got to put yourself in different types of environments. Not that you're necessarily doing a Soulful Sanctuary, but I know a lot of you that are frustrated with men and the type of men you meet are spending a lot of times in bars, clubs, or on dating apps. And so if you're spending times in bars, clubs, and dating apps and meeting only those men and upset or not happy with those type of men, then maybe you got to change that environment so you can meet a different type of man. Because the type of man that goes to a club, bar, or is on a dating app is going to be a very specific type of man. And there's different types of men, and they'll probably spend their time in different types of places. So maybe if you go to those places, you'll meet different types of men. See how that works? Okay. Rebecca Rayo donates $10. She says, appreciate your educational content. Thank you so much. And Ebony Jackson also donates $5 just as a super sticker. Thank you so much. I told you guys, the YouTube chat, they're very, very generous people. Okay, very, very generous. All right, guys, let's hop into our next segment here. You guys, if you're new here, you should, well, if you're new here, you might not know, but if you're familiar with me and the Players Club, you know what our next segment is going to be. Our next segment is going to be our React segment, where we're going to hop right into some popular videos been sent to me to react to, some also that I've chosen to react to, and some that you guys are like, please, I want to see you react to this. So I am reacting to some of these popular TikTok videos around the net that are going viral, or you know, you guys want my opinion to discuss on the show. So we're going to do that right now. Let me go ahead and grab my headphones and click on our first video of the day today. This is going to be funny. Let's see what Christian has to say. I'm going to grab my headphones. Just give me a second. Okay. So first things we have here is a man named Christian Walker. Okay. So let's see what Christian Walker has to say. He seems very animated, very passionate. I haven't watched this video. Someone just sent it to me to react to and tagged me in it. Oh, by the way, if you guys want me to react to something, you can either tag me in it on TikTok. I may or may not see it. But if you definitely want to make sure I see it, you can go over to our Discord and send it to me in our channel titled Tomisin Reacts, or just Reacts, right? I'll see it there. Just send me a TikTok video because we usually do them from TikTok. It's easier that way. They're shorter that way. And then we'll react to it live on the show, okay? So you can send it to me one of those two places. My Discord channel is available in the link in my bio on TikTok or in the link in the pinned comment, okay? So let's see here. Okay, that was weird. All right, let's see here. First things first here.
Not need your help. He needs to be released back into the wild with the rest of the wild. That man does not need your help. He needs to be released back into the wild with the rest of the wild animals. Some of y'all don't date like you're looking for a husband. You date like you're trying to be the help. Like you're trying to sign up for a nanny job. You're trying to be his mom. Go get a dog. You are in the market for a puppy dog. You're not in the market for a man. Why aren't you dating more critically? You know it's okay to show up to a date and be like, whoa, this guy sucks. Whoa, this guy's a loser. Whoa, I'm worth so much more than this. Why are you showing up trying to audition for a guy who's already not worthy of you? Just call it quits and go get another guy. That poverty mindset is going to screw you over. You think, oh, this is the last guy that's ever going to ask me out. I need to show I'm worthy, and then I'll just put him back together and I'll try to make him be what I want him to be. No, ma'am. Poverty mindset, loser mindset, disgusting. Not in your princess energy. Way too many people get with other people they're not meant for and then try to perform surgery on the person. They try to change their character. They try to change who they are. They try to change the person's values, when in reality, that person is just not meant for you. It is okay, especially when you're not married. You're not married. It's okay. You're dating for a reason. Call it quits and go get another man. Stop trying to change people into what you want them to be and trust that there's a person that's already meant for you. That man does not need your help. He needs to be released.
Okay.
Back into the wild with the rest of the wild animals. Some of y'all don't.
Why is this happening?
Looking for a husband. You date like you're trying to be the.
What just happened? Okay, there we go. Sorry. Sorry, I wasn't expecting what he said there when he was like, just go into the date. There's nothing wrong with going. Well, let's replay it, actually. I want to see it again.
Not need your help. He needs to be released.
Sorry, I want to see that. I want to see that part again. Sorry, chat. This is also for my...
That man does not need your help. He needs to be released back into the wild.
Oh my God, no,
with the rest of the wild animals. Some of y'all...
Okay, hold on.
Some of y'all don't date like you're looking for a...
I want to see... It's not letting me rewind here. Hold on, let me refresh the page. I want to rewind that. That was so
That man
funny.
does not need your help. He needs to be released back into the wild with the...
Oh my God, I gotta rewind that part. He was like, there's nothing wrong with going on the date and being like, this sucks.
That man does not...
Okay, it won't let me rewind it, but that was so funny. Okay, yeah. There's nothing wrong with going on the date and saying that this sucks, okay? And it's actually exactly what I talk to you guys about, and I tell you guys, like, detach yourself from the outcome. So detach yourself from the idea that it has to be you that it works out with. You can go on a date with a guy, and I know he yells a lot, like he's really animated, but it's fine. There's nothing wrong with going out on a date with a guy, taking that time to like observe him and see if you like him and he fits what you're looking for. And then you immediately just decide no. See, a lot of times when you're, I know we talk about this a lot, but a lot of times when you're only dating one person at a time, you can go on one date with someone and realize very quickly they're not your vibe. And see, the thing about it is, when you're dating one person at a time, you're a lot more impatient. But I actually want you to be more impatient, because what it does for you is it forces you to come up with answers to your question very quickly. And you start saying to yourself, when I go on a date with you, if I don't like you, I don't want to waste time on you, because I'm only going to date. I know that Tomisin always tells me date one person at a time, but I don't want to be wasting a whole bunch of my time dating the wrong person if I'm only going to be dating one at a time. So what it does for you is it lights a fire under your butt, which is exactly what I want to do. I want a fire to be lit under your butt. And then when you go out on your dates, you have a sense of urgency and intentionality where you're saying, I cannot waste time here. So if I go on this date with you and I'm starting to get the idea, I don't really like you, I don't like the way you talk, I don't like the way you see the world, I don't like the way you treat me, you just irk me out, you're immediately going to say, oh, wasting my time, okay? I don't like you, you're not who I'm looking for, okay? At the bottom line. That's good though. I want your senses in what you're looking for and what you want and the type of a relationship and dynamic you want to see. I want that to become so clear to you that you're able to spot that within 1 or 2 dates. Why? Because then you actually end up wasting way less of your time. And you're able to more quickly move on to someone you actually are looking for, as opposed to just spending a whole bunch of time on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. And you're like, okay, yeah, I got 6 guys who are all kind of what I'm looking for, but kind of not what I'm looking for. But because I don't have to date just one at a time and I can date 6 at a time, who really cares if some of them aren't really the best person? But what ends up happening is now you're stringing yourself along, putting energy into people who aren't even what you're looking for or what you want to be in a relationship with. So you see how that just actually ends up wasting more of your time. And I don't want that for you. And I want you to go on dates and just say, I went on a date with you and I didn't like it. I went on a date with you and you just weren't my cup of tea. Nothing wrong with that, okay? You're not meant to be compatible with every other human being on this earth, especially not romantically, okay? And that's not a crime. It also doesn't even make you a bad person. Don't also yourself be in a scarcity mindset where you think to yourself, oh my God, any guy that asks me out on a date has to be the guy that I end up. What is this? What is this, the charity hour? Any guy that asks you out on a date and can take you out on a date, it has to be the guy that you end up with. What happened to your criteria? What happened to your standards? Can't you go out on a date with the guy and say to yourself, I don't like this guy? That's perfectly fine. Just because a guy asks you out and he's cute, what does that mean? You should have more criteria than just that. Him be cute and ask you on a date. Come on, you worth more than that, I believe. I skipped one on accident. Let's go to the.
He is not a puppy dog. He is a grown ass man. Every time you try to.
Who sends this to me? I can't even remember who sent this to me in the chat.
Nurture a grown man. Oh, I feel bad for him. Oh, he's down and out. I want to try to be there for him. You have demoted yourself from a queen to a servant girl. You are his emotional needs support provider while you get nothing. My love, that's wifey crap. He needs to earn that. He needs to earn your nurturing. He needs to earn your heart. He needs to earn your emotional energy. See, those needy, insecure guys, they come across as sweet and nice, but really, they're wolves in sheep's clothing. They'll use your nurturing and
there's no way he has this amount of energy 24/7. He's probably hyped off of that cappuccino that he has in his hand, that iced coffee, because I just don't believe he's like this 24. There's no way. Someone in the comments said that do you have a podcast? And I'm thinking to myself, does he yell the entire podcast? There's no way. Oh, oops, my bad. Let me go ahead here. Let's see. Let's skip ahead here.
Needs support provider while you get nothing. My love, that's wifey crap. He needs to earn that. He needs to earn your nurturing. He needs to earn your heart. He needs to earn your emotional energy. See, those needy, insecure guys, they come across as sweet and nice, but really, they're wolves in sheep's clothing. They'll use your nurturing and your emotional support to tune themselves up and then go be a king to another woman. No, ma'am. Jumping in to nurture and care for a guy who has done nothing for you is a self-worth issue. You think you need to prove yourself to a man because you don't feel worthy. You're worthy now. You deserve to be pursued now. And do you get that? By not treating men, grown men, like they're wounded little birds and forcing them to step the hell up if they want to be with a woman like you. He is not a puppy.
I mean, yeah. It's funny that he said puppy dogs because we were talking about big dogs and stuff like that. Yeah, like we talked about earlier, don't worry about the soy boys. Okay, don't worry your mind about the soy boys, feeling sorry for them, trying to build them up, that the shy guy should get some attention too. No. The back in the day, the biggest, strongest cavemen and hunters, they all got all the attention and slept with all the women. Okay? Your wife gets given up if you're not a strong, capable hunter to the big dog. Okay? And truthfully and honestly, that's the same way you should go about life. Only the big dogs get access to you. If you ain't no big dog, sorry, you're going to have to jerk yourself off in the corner while the big dogs get all the hoo-ha. Okay? That's just how it should be. And that's just how you have to live your life. Because at the end of the day, if you start trying to like take care of the soy boys and the shy boys, you're going to be the one disappointed because you're going to be looking down the line when all the other girls who are with the big dogs are having fun, enjoying themselves, getting princess treatment, getting treated amazing. You're going to be like, damn, my shy soy boy can't take care of me and he still wants to sit on the couch and play video games and I have to beg him to ask me out on a single date. Meanwhile, all these girls are getting all this other stuff, all this princess treatment, all these dates, all these flowers, all this great, amazing stuff that I wish I could be getting. So you're only going to end up frustrated down the line when you say to yourself, I'm going to take care of the shy boy and build him up into being a man. Do not do that. Okay? Don't do that. Christian is
that
animated.
Man.
This is why a man.
He is animated. Okay, yeah, we need a break from the yelling. Okay.
This is why a man's body count is more important than you think. Listen.
Tell me more. Okay, let's see what you got to say here.
To this, if you marry a man who's been with many women before you and you believe that that's a good thing because now he has calmed down, think again. Because research says that men who've been with many women before they settle down are more likely to cheat. They're in need of external validation from women because that's exactly what they've been used to. And I'm sure that the idea for that man of settling down with one woman is very attractive. But if you, as a woman, want to predict his future behavior, the best way to do that is to look at his past behavior, because it's most likely that he will repeat his past behavior all over again. Because a man with a high body count is not very selective in how he chooses his women. On the contrary, a man with a low body count sets his standards pretty high and he chooses very carefully who he wants to sleep with. So next time you meet a man, ask about his body count. This is why a man...
I actually agree with that because if we're talking about the general audience and generally what the best practices would be for the general audience, listen to what I'm saying here. This is a best practice for the general audience, meaning a guy with a super high body count is more likely to be promiscuous in a relationship and harder to get to take a relationship serious than a guy with a lower body count. That works for the general audience. Now, of course, within a generality that works for a general audience, that can apply. However, of course, you're also going to have men who have higher body counts that can still be in healthy relationships, okay? Because there also is a function of course, a guy with a higher body count is more than likely going to be more attractive and more charismatic, which is a function, or have more resources, which ends up being a function of why he has a higher body count. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he's not capable of being a loyal partner and a good partner. But of course, he has more options. So the girl that he's looking for, he settles down with, is probably going to be when he's at a very specific place in his life, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, okay? But also, guys with high body counts do get tired. Well, I shouldn't speak for all, but some guys with high body counts do get tired of the aspect of always sleeping with a new girl because there's still a lot of emptiness associated with that. So even the men with higher body counts do feel empty sleeping with random strangers that they don't know and they don't feel connected to. Don't let any guy impress you or make you feel like there's, not capable of feeling emotions by telling you, well, I sleep with a whole bunch of supermodels and that I don't know and I feel perfectly fine. Trust me, there's an emotional void within them, whether they realize it or not. But I can assure you that men do get to a point in their lives, even the ones with high body counts, where they start thinking to themselves, is there more to pineapples and intimacy than just sleeping with someone that I don't even know their last name and, having fun, but not feeling like anyone's there for me? Trust me, even those guys have those empty feelings. I'm telling you, as a guy with friends of guys who have high body counts, even they feel like that as well. So yes, this is a general thing that will work for most people. However, I just want to make you aware that a guy with a higher body count is probably going to be more attractive, be more charismatic, and have more resources. So if you're not more focused on his mindset and observing where his mind is at and what he wants out of the relationship, right, with his actions, you might miss out on some good guys who would treat you well in this relationship, but simply because you're focused more on the number, you're not going to be able to actually analyze the person. See, this is the thing that I've noticed, and I want a lot of you guys to notice as well, okay? Because I wanted you guys to gain in your understanding of life. What a lot of dating coaches and relationship gurus are going to be giving you, they're going to be trying, especially in short clips, they're going to be giving you quick information to try to help you just quickly identify something within a man. Oh, this is a red flag. Don't look for this. Don't like this. Look for that. Look for that. But the reality of it is relationships are more nuanced than that. And you really have to get good at observing and analyzing people as a whole. In a plethora of different situations. And if you're only looking for one specific thing to be your answer to oh, is this a good guy or not? Your radar is gonna be off quite sometimes because you can meet some amazing guys with lower body counts. You can also meet some horrible guys with lower body counts. You can meet some amazing guys with higher body counts. You can also meet some horrible guys with higher body counts. But if you're solely basing on if a guy will be a good partner on his body count, you'll miss out on some great guys, but you'll also get played by guys who have lower body counts. So because you're not actually looking at analyzing the person, you're just looking for one answer to tell you about the entire human being, okay? And you're never gonna get real answers on the whole human being by asking one question one time, and the answer to that one question is gonna reveal to you all the secrets of the earth, okay? That's just not how human beings work. But I get it, she's just giving you a 50-second clip, okay?
Oh, hey, do you want to hear another absolutely disgusting secret about men?
Okay, I do want to comment on this. I've seen a couple of his videos. Every video starts off with him like he just got done putting on his shirt. I guess that's that's the aesthetic? Is that, I don't know. I feel like he could give the information without doing that all the time, but I don't know.
Oh, hey, do you want to hear another
I'm just a boy. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Disgusting secret about men that they definitely do not want you to know. And as usual, this is an absolutely foolproof method, so please pay attention and do not tell anybody that I told you. Anytime you're talking to a man, generally speaking, things always start off the best they're ever going to be.
Said clickbait.
Obviously, there's no label yet. He's trying to woo you, presumably to have a label down the line. And then when things are going well, then all of a sudden they drop off the face of the earth, you probably think it's something you did. But the disgusting secret about men today is it really has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the fact that there is probably 9 out of 10 times another woman involved. Now, this does not mean there's another woman directly involved in all cases, but it does mean in some time that he spent away from you, he either met another person or had his eyes on another person, and it shifted his attention from you to this new person. And if a man ever acts hot and cold like that with you, I just want you to know that no matter what the circumstance would have been, it would never work out between you and him, because any man who can have his attention shifted that early on, believe me, down the line, even quicker. The only time a man will actually be able to settle down into a happy relationship is the moment he stops needing to look around for his own validation.
Okay, this thumbnail is funny. Aside from that thumbnail, Yeah, I think that what he said is pretty accurate here in that when guys fall off the face of the earth, sometimes you're thinking that it has to do with you, and a lot of times it has to do with what's going on within him or with him in his life. It's part of the reason why we had a whole show on how to spot emotionally unavailable men, because you have to understand some men are actively invested in another woman, whether it be their ex or another girl that they're talking to. Excuse me. And even when you start dating people, especially those of you who are on dating apps, you'll start noticing a theme that, you know, the people that are on dating apps are obviously going to be serial daters. So when you meet these people on dating apps, don't ever assume that they're only dating you. But here's the thing. You have no idea how much a relationship has progressed with someone else they met on that same dating app. This might be date number 1 for you, but date number 10 for him and another girl. And so sometimes guys are in between girls and things like that. And so when they meet you, they don't make you aware of that, or you don't ask about that or extract that information. And you're thinking, oh, it's just me and you, not realizing he's got a whole situation going on with someone else. And then all of a sudden he falls off the face of the earth and you're really, really confused. Okay. Someone said, what's this creator's name? You guys got to go on YouTube to find the creator's name, because I make sure to give them their credit, but I just can't do that on the TikToks because there's no like space for me to do that. It's like it's Montaigne on Montaigne or something like that on YouTube. Just go on YouTube and watch the stream and you'll see the creator's name. Okay. But yeah. That is fact. So don't be thinking that that has something to do with you. It's more to do with how guys will either be juggling girls or how guys might be actively emotionally invested in another girl, which is why they kind of go hot and cold and they kind of fit you in between what's going on with the other girl. Part of the reason why I tell you guys when you go on dates, make sure you're asking lots of questions. Make sure you're listening real well, and listening, especially when we talk about how to spot guys that are emotionally unavailable, make sure you're getting a very clear understanding of where his relationships stand with exes now, his most recent ex now, and where he is in his dating life now. Because thing about it is, a lot of you want to go on dates and want to feel good the whole time and not ask a lot of questions because you don't want to talk about other women or only focus on you, and you don't end up getting a lot of answers. Okay, you just end up feeling good, but then you're bamboozled down the line when things are like not what they seem to be. Okay, right? Okay. Someone says, can you react on Anna Christina? You just got to send me the video. Either tag me in it on TikTok or send it to me in our reacts section on Discord and I'll react to it.
Ladies, showing interest to a guy is not chasing a guy. It's called being a human being. You want to reward him to make you show more interest.
He sounds like this one actor when he says that it's called being a human being. Oh, I can't think of what actor it is that he sounds like when he says that.
Ladies, showing interest to a guy is not chasing a guy. It's called being a human being. You want to reward him to make you show more interest. That's what he's going to do. And if he has any...
I think it's Johnny Depp. Is it Johnny Depp that he sounds like when he says that? Or is it a different actor?
Ladies, showing interest to a guy is not chasing a guy. It's called being a human being. You want to reward him to make you show more interest. That's what he's going to do. And if he has any level of options out here, he won't put up with your nonsense of being avoidant and listening to this whole don't show him anything and playing these games. You don't have time for the game. See, you think you do, but you don't. And you will waste 6, 8, 9 months in playing this game with a dude who only wanted you for one thing. And that's where you end up wasting time. If you want to find out if a guy likes you, you show him interest. If he doesn't reciprocate interest or show you more and he bounces, he was never interested in you in the first place. He was interested in getting what you got. Maybe the pancakes, maybe a cookie, whatever he wanted, but it wasn't you. And see,
do white guys call ass pancakes? Is that... Chat, let me know. Is that what the white guys call ass pancakes? Is that because they only date girls with pancake asses? I don't know. I'm just me. So I don't be knowing how other people be rocking in life. You know what I mean? I feel like when I think of booty, I don't think of pancakes because I feel like I wouldn't be. Anyways, let's go on.
See, we waste too much time playing these avoidant games. playing these I don't want to show interest games. But the problem is that they don't work. They only work with guys that you don't like. They only work with guys who tend to chase you and you don't really respect them anyway. You want the guys you want, but the guys you want won't put up with that. Isn't that funny how that works? Trust me, ladies, don't listen to these other ladies out here telling you to be an avoidant when those are the ladies that can't keep and they can't get and keep a real guy in their life because they don't know how to reward his system. Yeah, because a good quality dude is going to have
Someone said flapjacks.
options and he won't put up with it. I know, it's just facts. But either you do this and play this game and waste a shit ton of time because time goes by very quickly, or you show
I like that. Never mind.
interest and see how interested he is, and that's kind of how you call this thing.
So I'd be mean sometimes. Okay, but this is the thing here. What he's saying is not completely wrong, but he's not telling you the whole story here. Because the thing about it is, the mistake that a lot of people make is they listen to a video like this, and then they think to themselves, oh, well, I love Benny. Benny sounds really smart. He sounds really intelligent. When he talks, it sounds like Johnny Depp is talking. So Johnny Depp, is a good actor. So maybe he's probably knows what he's talking about too. Here's the thing though. When you take this information and you go about dating a guy on a first date and you show him a whole bunch of interest because you're thinking, well, Benny said that I should show a whole bunch of interest. So that's what I'm going to do as well. What ends up happening is that guy starts realizing, oh, she's really into me. She's really showing me a lot of interest. And he starts scaling back what he's doing for you. Because he's thinking in his mind, she already really likes me and I haven't even done anything for her. I haven't really put my best foot forward. I haven't really tried that hard. I haven't even been that consistent. And she's already showing me so much interest. So what's going to happen is he's going to start thinking it's disproportionate, the amount of interest she's showing in me to how much I've actually done for her. He's going to start thinking to himself, well, maybe this is a girl I can take advantage of. This is a girl I can use because when I don't show that much interest or I don't do that much for her, she seems to still have that level of interest in me. And so this is the thing that I want you to avoid doing. I want you to show interest in men that actually acknowledge themselves to be your boyfriend and actually acknowledge themselves to be committed to you. Not men who you're having to beg to see you, notice you, and spend time with you. Because some of you guys get that confused. You think that showing interest is going to get a guy interested in you. That is not it at all. That will never get you where you want to go. What will happen is maintaining a guy pursuing you. Of course, you're going to have to show a level of interest that doesn't discourage him from pursuing you. But it's not meant to be 50-50 and it's not meant to be exceeded by what he does, okay? It's just meant to be just enough that he doesn't feel like he's getting nowhere by pursuing you. Because I can assure you, when a guy likes you and he's passionate about you and he wants to build with you and he knows that he wants you, all he is looking for is the confirmation that you like him back somewhat and you're interested in him as well. He doesn't need it to be over the top. You don't need to buy him a Bentley. You don't need to do cartwheels and you don't need to spread your legs wide open and put them behind your head. All he needs to know is that in the process of pursuing you, he is getting somewhere and progressing towards actually being with you and getting more access to you. Not that he's just doing it and you don't care about him and you never are even going to give him a chance. That's all guys who are interested in you want to feel. Just like they have a chance and they're getting somewhere building with you, okay? I just don't understand why he keeps saying, show interest, show. I guarantee 100% guaranteed. If any of you slid in his DMs and you were like, Benny, you're the most handsome, amazing, awesome man in the world. Oh my God, Benny, you're so smart. You're so intelligent. You're so beautiful. You're so handsome. Your teeth, you sound like Johnny Depp. I guarantee you he'll say, haha, that's real cool. And he won't think twice about you. He's not going to ask you out on a date. So showing interest is not actually going to do anything to stimulate men wanting you more. Okay, so let's just get that out of your mind. Okay, I don't want you guys believing that. Okay, next video here.
Stop being so attached. Just understand it's another human being, right? Not your child, not your Siamese twin. Let him be. Okay, just whatever he's doing, you could be doing the same exact thing. Just let him be. Stop attaching your happiness to another person. Okay, what if he dies tomorrow? What if he decides he's gay? What if he leaves you for another woman? Your happiness and sense of being is attached to another person. Get you a life. Get you a life. Okay? That's how you can emotionally detach. Get you a life. Do something that's only for you. Get you a hobby. Do something that's only for you. And stop worrying about all this emotional attachment. You got the rest of your life to be emotionally attached to somebody. Okay?
You guys be like, oh, you guys need to collab. You guys need to collab. I don't know how to reach her. You guys got to like spam on her videos or something. Yo, collab with Tomisin, please, Shara. You guys got to spam it so that she sees it. And she's like, who's this Tomisin guy that you guys want me to collab with? I don't know how to reach out to her. Okay. So you guys want us to collab. So, I think that what she says is exactly what I've been telling all of you, right? The best way to detach from men is not by dating thousands of men at the same time. It's by getting a life, right? Because when you get a life, you'll begin investing into yourself. When you start investing into yourself, you'll actually be able to go out on dates with people. And if you don't like those people or the date isn't going how you want it to go, you'll be able to say to yourself, I'm not going to continue dating you just because I need to be with someone. Whenever you approach sorry, I still got that water in my throat from before. Whenever you approach dating from the standpoint of scarcity, and because you're on a date with me or because you asked me out on a date, I have to make this work with you, you will always be losing. I'm burping, coughing, all that stuff. You'll always be losing, and you'll always be in a position of desperation. And when you're desperate like that, one, you'll be more undesirable and unattractive version of yourself. And number two, you'll also be willing to deal with a lot more than you regularly would. Because if your life was full before a guy came into it and you had happiness before a guy came into your life, you'd be perfectly fine with your life if he goes away and he's not in it anymore because you're whole already. But if you feel like a guy walked into your life and all of a sudden now you have an interesting life, now you have something to focus on, now you have something that brings you joy and happiness, you're going to be so sad and demoralized if he ever threatens you with walking away, because you're going to be like, I literally have nothing if you walk away. We don't want that for you. We don't want that for you. Please. I love you so much. I don't want that for you.
You don't.
What's going on?
Stop being so attached. Just understand it's another human being.
Let's go to our
Right?
next
Not
one
your
here.
child.
You don't trust that someone's never going to betray you. You just trust that you'll be able to handle it if they do, that you'll be able to walk away. That's a massive key to.
Damn, the way he said that to her was like he. Never mind. I have a dirty mind. Never
Never
mind.
going to betray you. You just trust that you'll be able to handle it if they do, that you'll be able to walk away.
Why it looked like he. Never mind. Sorry.
You'll be able to handle it if they do, that you'll be able to walk away. That's a massive key to it. Stop worrying about whether you can trust someone else. Maybe you can't. We don't know that. Only time will tell if you can trust somebody else.
I'm sorry. Is this like a public private therapy session? Because the way it's like he's touching her soul when he's saying these words to her. I don't know, because the way it's formatted, it looks like it's supposed to be a podcast. But when I'm looking at her facial expression, it's like he's rubbing her soul or something. Well, I don't know. I'm just weird.
Stop worrying about whether you can trust someone else. Maybe you can't. We don't know that. Only time will tell if you can trust somebody else. That is a pointless waste of your energy to worry about. Worry only about yourself. You don't trust that someone's never going to be.
Am I tripping or no? Like, it looks like it's supposed to be a podcast, but when he's talking, she's like, "Oh yes, you're so right." Like I'm just like, "Oh wow, okay."
Betray you. You just trust that you'll be able to handle it if they do, that you'll be able to walk away. That's a massive key to it. Stop worrying about whether you can trust someone else. Maybe you can't. We don't know that. Only time will tell if you can trust.
Okay, sorry, I'm getting caught up in the wrong thing. What Matthew Hussey is saying, let me be a serious professional here. What Matthew Hussey is saying is facts. It's very true. And the thing about it is, kind of like we talked about earlier, and I think it was Christian Walker that said it earlier, you kind of have to allow yourself the ability to like meet people and realize that I can't... Wow, that water's still in my lungs. You have to realize that when you go out on dates with people, even when you're dating people, you can't control the person. And you can't turn them into your fairy tale if they're not already looking like how you want them to look. And you have to resign yourself to the fact that, like, my job is to observe your actions, see who you really are, and just go with that. If you are in line, excuse me, sorry guys. If you are in line with what I'm looking for, I will accept that and not be in fear that, oh my God, what if this and what if that and what if this and what if that? Hey, if you fit my criteria and I like spending time with you and I don't see any red flags, I'll enjoy my time with you. If you show yourself to not be who I'm looking for, it's okay. And that doesn't make me a bad person because you fooled me for a little bit. Now, what we're trying to do here in the in the Players Club is to get you better at seeing people for who they really are and observing who they are. But you also have to be okay with, like, being with people and ridding yourself of the fear state that I might go through this whole relationship and you might cheat on me, you might do this and you might do that. Because once again, it might not be scarcity, but you're living in a fear state where you can't even be happy regardless of what you get from a guy, okay? Because we also don't want that from you as well, right?
Trust somebody else. That is a pointless waste of your energy to worry about. Worry only about yourself. You don't trust.
True. Worry about you. Put that energy back into you, okay? Yeah, Matthew Hussey should be charging $30,000 for his personal therapy, because if this was a personal therapy session or a podcast, I don't know. Just the look on her face, it looks like more than therapy, okay? I'm just joking, okay? I'm sure Matthew Hussey's a great guy. Next year we
Ladies,
have...
if you're really trying...
Okay, this is the Daddy Academy, okay? Nico from the Daddy Academy.
Ladies, if you're really trying to see if a man is serious about you, you have to do less, right? Welcome to the Daddy Academy. That does not mean playing hard to get. That doesn't mean not showing him you're interested. You should show him you're interested. If you like him, he took you on a nice date, you went great, you want to see him again, you should show him that, okay? But what you're not doing, you're not planning dates.
Someone said our daddy? This guy's your daddy? Okay. No judgment.
You're not reaching out first all the time. You can reach out first, I always say, like 30% of the time. He should be doing it 70% of the time. And you need to let him lead and pursue, okay? What happens a lot of time is if a man has more of a casual mindset, he starts pulling back. Maybe he love bombs you a little bit and then he pulls back. A lot of times, you guys start trying to make up that ground, okay? You're
Someone said I'm jealous? Yeah.
texting, you're leading. Oh, what are you doing this weekend? Don't do that. Stop doing that, okay? Unless he has been really serious about you for like a month and a half, 2 months, boom, 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 planning dates, communicating really well. In that case, now you could show a little more pursuit, if you will, in that sense. But if he hasn't, it's only been a few dates, and now he's starting to pull back just a touch, you got to do less. You got to leave that space for him to show you with his actions how he's pursuing you. In what way is he pursuing you? If he's pulling back, if he's inconsistent, don't make up the ground. Don't lead. Don't try to text. Don't try to see what's up, right? Just sit back and observe, and the actions will tell you everything you need to know.
Someone said Nico is daddy. So what about Christian though? Christian's not daddy energy? Christian's not daddy energy? Oh, okay. I was just wondering. I don't know. I'm trying to understand which one is y'all daddy. Someone said it's Matthew. Someone said it's Nico. Someone said it's someone else. I was just trying to understand, which. Anyways, so Nico from the Daddy Academy is speaking factual evidence, okay? Do less. In fact, I say do nothing because you really don't have to do that much. Like, aside from making sure that the in-person experience is filled with, hey, I'm interested in you and I love to know more about you and I would love to hear you talk more about yourself. Aside from that, you don't really have to do that much when it comes to texting. Let him plan the dates. You don't really have to do that much when it comes to consistency. Let him do that. You don't really have to do that much when it comes to like being creative in terms of like dating you and all that other stuff. Let him do that. Let him lead. Let him escalate. And so aside from that, the pressure, I guess you could say, is really on him, not you. And the less you do, the more space you give the guys that you're building relationships with to be the men and be the pursuer. Because the reality of it is, see, the hunters, the men who actually know how to go for what they want, see, the soy boys, they'll always have a problem with trying to go and put in work for what they want. But the actual hunters who actually have no problem with pursuing something that they see and they want will be capable of pursuing you. You just have to show him that he's getting somewhere. He doesn't want to feel like he's getting nowhere. But once he gets the sense that, you know, he's getting somewhere and he feels like it's actually not pointless to just pursue you, then he will do that. And he'll be more than happy to do that. In fact, he'll be happier with you allowing him the space to pursue you and reach out to you when he wants and date you at the pace that he wants and ask you out and all that other stuff, because he'll feel like a man doing that. He's never going to feel like a man when you're complaining about how little he talks to you or sees you or how little he wants to date you, because even if he were to date you after you complain like that, he's not going to feel even within himself like he took the initiative and wanted to do it, which is why he did it. You always want to give guys space to come to their own realization. That way, when they talk to you or reach out to you or speak to you, they feel like, hey, I came to the realization of how much I want her and want to speak to her. So I did that because that's what I wanted. So now that I'm on this date with her, I realize how much I wanted her because I did all this because of my own realization. It's very weird, but it's good for guys to feel like they came to their own realization, not like you held their hand to get here. Okay? Does that make sense? Someone said Christian is our bestie, but Nico is our daddy. Okay, I guess no daddy energy for Christian. Okay, interesting. Okay, I'm understanding you guys better. All right. So that was all that we had for today. I don't believe I had any other ones. Did I? Yeah, I think that was it. We did these ones to other. Okay. Yeah, we did all these. These are all food. Okay. Yeah. These are all food. All right. So, with that being said, okay, it is time. It is that time. Very special time. Very amazing time. Time to shine. Time to laugh. Time to cry. Can you tell me in the chat, what time is it? Like G just said, do you know what time it is? If you're unsure, if you're looking at the clock, looking at the watch, looking at your phone, looking all over your home, I'm going to share with you what time it is. All right, chat. Let's hop over into the Discord. For those of you who are unfamiliar, you're probably confused. That's perfectly fine. The Discord is essentially where all the amazing members of the Players Club get an opportunity to ask me personal questions about their relationship or their situationship, and I answer them live on the show. Now, there's multiple ways that you can submit your question into the Discord chat, and I'll break it down for you very simply real quick here. So you can send your question into our free Discord relationship advice forum, where I answer your question on a first come, first serve basis. And you can do that by simply going into the link in my TikTok bio, click join the Discord, and ask your question or you do that by going into the link in the pinned comment or in the description on YouTube. Now, I'll warn you, when you come into this free relationship advice section, there is about, 50 to 100 questions that I still have not answered. And so I have to answer those questions first before I get to yours. So it'll probably take me a couple weeks to get to your question if you were to ask it today. Now, if you have a question for me that you want me to give you advice on, and you're impatient and you want to hear my response right away or in the next 2 days, you have another option here. You can go into our Discord's premium relationship advice section, and it's like a VIP pass at a theme park. So what you do is you go over to the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description, click where it says premium relationship advice, you donate to the show. And when you donate to the show, you put in the title of your username and the title of your question, and then you ask your question in premium relationship advice. I get a notification once you donate to the show, and I'm able to verify that that's you and that's your question, and I am able to keep it fair for everyone. That way people aren't randomly posting into this section that aren't supposed to be here and haven't donated to the show. And it's like your VIP pass at a theme park where you get to skip the line and I read your question out before I go into the free section. Okay, it takes me some time to get to the free section. So you have an option there if you're impatient. Clearly, you see people like to take advantage of that as well. Now, if you're someone that's like, Thompson, I love you and I want you to answer my question, but I also don't want you to read out all my business live on the show for thousands of people to see, that's perfectly fine as well. You have a third option to send in your question via our private relationship advice section, where it just goes directly to me. You fill out a form, you send in your question, you donate to the show, and then I'm able to respond to you via email message, and I send you a voice message that's very detailed and comprehensive of exactly your situation and my advice for you. And you can access that through the same link in my TikTok or in the link in my description. So there's multiple different options for you there. Okay, so let's start off with our first premium question to be answered, which comes from Lida. And Lida asks, was it just a weak moment of him? Okay, so let's see what Lida says. Lida says, hi, I am so glad that I have my beautiful, handsome Dr. Tommy. So clearly maybe there's Nico, there's me, and maybe I guess some people like Matthew. I'm the daddy here, okay? Maybe, I don't know. Dr. Tommy that isn't afraid of saying anything honestly to into my face. Tomisin, I am confused. I am 20, tend to overthink a lot in general, but this one really makes me lose my mind. Is communication the key in this case? Just a quick review of the guy I talked about here often. 5 months ago, I met a guy named, I guess we're just calling him A, okay? I met a guy named A who's 27. We had 4 to 5 dates. Everything was going fine until he was upset and pulled away after I opened up to him that I was a virgin and needed more time. I cut it off and continued living my life, but he never fully removed me and started answering my stories. Okay. 1 week ago, he came back and asked me out for a beautiful date again, a light festival in a museum where he apologized for his behavior 5 months ago. We had a really deep talk about what was going on in our lives. On the date, he also told me that it's fascinating and crazy how I study medicine and that he never could do that like me. He watched me the whole evening and tried to hold eye contact very long. You already told me that I should see his see his comeback and apologize as normal. I mean, there was nothing wrong with him coming back and apologizing. I just want to analyze what the intention is there. At the end of the date, he asked me how my week looks and he would like to meet me again. It wasn't clear for me on which day we would meet, but he suggested maybe Saturday night. I answered with, first, I need to think about this conversation, his apology a bit. And I also told him in a very playful way that he can think about what he wants in life as well. We both laughed and said goodbye to each other. He told me during this comeback date that he enjoyed it very much to be with me. Now, silence, no text messages. Sorry, I want to see how long ago you said that was. Okay, this is 1 week ago. Now, no text message whether we meet on Saturday or not. No question from him. How I think about the situation now, nothing. I feel like the silly one for saying yes to the date where he apologized. Did I do something wrong? Why does he come back into my life, ask me questions about my life, to apologize, just to disappear again? I was friendly, not flirty. I was open, not too open. As I said, he considered meeting me again, but I didn't hear from him for 7 days now. And the worst, he even posted an Insta story on Saturday night. He posted a pizza restaurant. But as I said, I wasn't clear on if we meet on Saturday because I said I need to think about all this. Okay, so it's tough because I don't want to say, I understand that, yes, he probably should have reached out to you. And I'm not saying that, he shouldn't have reached out to you, or just to be clear. But if you did say, I need to think about all of this, there can be a miscommunication there, because he might have taken that as, you're going to come to some sort of decision and give him an answer. But maybe he also just took it as, because some people are like, oh, you're overthinking a little bit. He could have also just taken it as you're just not sure. And as the time passed, he was just like, okay, I'm going to make a plan for Saturday. You understand what I'm saying? Lennon Leak said you skipped my question. I read your question out yesterday, Lennon Leak. Okay, maybe you missed it. But as you said, I need to think about all this. It makes me sad thinking back to our date. I can't remember one thing that I might have done wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. You understand what I'm saying? You didn't. The problem is he told me that he flies on Sunday 2 days ago to I think he might say to Greece, not Greek, with his mom for 1 week. Okay, that's fine. My questions, what should I do? Nothing. Do nothing. Doesn't he text me because I told him that I need to think about everything first? I think you might say, like, did he not text me because I said I need to think about things? It's okay. Like, you have to understand, I know that he mentioned Saturday. If he ended up going out on Saturday, it's only been 1 week. He's going to go out with his mom. This is not your boyfriend, right? He did the one apology, come back. And I'm not saying that, that he shouldn't reach out to you throughout that span of time or say anything to you. But, like, you just have to think of this as like restarting. And so you kind of have to like allow guys to pace themselves. But obviously at a certain point, if he's not reaching out to you, then he's probably not that serious about it. But just keep that in mind. I think right now you're in panic mode because, Saturday didn't come right after the first date. You understand what I'm saying? But I just want you to relax for a little bit. I'm sure in the next couple of days, he's going to message you and you're going to be like, oh, I was overthinking it, right? Because some of my friends told me that it is my job to text him first after he arranged this date and apologize. Is it true? I wouldn't say that. I would say probably in the span of you guys not talking after you said you have to think about it, I think maybe he just was like, committed to a different plan on the Saturday since he wasn't sure of what he was going to do with you. But I don't think that you did something wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Right? If yes, what should I text him without coming across needy? If not, should I unfollow him as a statement that this is his second and last chance to contact me if he messed up? Please don't say that. Don't message him that. Don't do that. The reason why I ask if I should unfollow him is I don't want him to think that he can again disappear for 5 months and stay in casual contact with me via social media. Do you get what I mean? Also, I know I shouldn't look up for stuff like this, but sometimes when I see his following list, it makes me sad to see that there are multiple women who, I don't know how to say this in a friendly way, but who are presenting themselves in their body very openly. I also post pictures of me, but they are not visible for everyone, if you know what I mean. Love you, thank you. So what I'll say to this part in terms of like the woman he follows, I get it, why it kind of irks you, but also realize like that also isn't your boyfriend. So you're judging what he's doing as a single man. That's not your boyfriend. And you guys have no exclusivity. So that's a little bit unfair because as a single guy, he's allowed to follow women. Of course, it's not ideal that he follows a whole bunch of, girls who are revealing their bodies, but he is still a single guy. So just keep that in mind, right? He's not your boyfriend. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, I don't think you need to do anything. Let me give you a hard and fast rule so you're not confused here. If he doesn't message you in the next 2 weeks, then you can unfollow him and don't entertain him coming back into your life. Because after 2 weeks of not messaging you at all, then that probably means that he's just not having the level of interest that he even cares to follow up with you. Because there should be a level of like, even if you guys don't end up going out on the Saturday, he follows up with you. So whether or not he goes out on the Saturday, cool, whatever, but he should follow up, okay, clearly we missed the Saturday, so I do plan on seeing you again, or even just chit chat to see what's up with you. If he doesn't have even a checkup text or a checkup call or anything like that with you, then that means that he's not that interested. And so then you can unfollow him and realize in your mind that even if he comes back again, it's just a waste of your time because you don't want to be in a cycle where you're constantly going back and forth with a guy that it's going nowhere with. We don't want that for you, Lida, okay? So 2 weeks is a hard, fast time for you. That way you don't have to be overthinking it. But until then, you don't need to unfollow him. Don't do anything. Don't even message him. Let's just see what he does. Remember, he's the one coming back to you after apologizing and all that. So this is his opportunity to do right by you, not you to be scrambling and saying, what can I do more? What can I do better? How can I say this and how can I say that? Okay. So that's your hard, fast rule there. Now, Lena Leak was saying that I didn't read her question. Let me just make sure because I'm pretty sure I read this question yesterday. So that was Lida. Yeah, yesterday I read this question. Right. I read this question out. So Lennon Leak, your answer is in yesterday's show, and I read it out live on the show. I remember reading this question. Okay. Next we have here Sissy. Sissy says, back at it again with a new situationship. Okay. Sissy says, hi, Tomisin. I met this guy through Hinge 1 year ago. Okay. Highlight and pause. We are both in our 30s and he seemed like a mature man. Therefore, I gave him my Instagram. Let's see how this went for you. I didn't pay much attention to him as I was traveling at the time. So why give him... Why? Okay, never mind. Never really turned anything flirty or pineapple-y. He looked interested in me. I mean, isn't he supposed to be? You guys met on him. Okay, what is this whole thing? Is this what the kids are doing now? Maybe I don't know. Is this what the kids are doing now where you swipe right on someone on Hinge and they become your friend now? Is that what the kids are doing now? Maybe I'm confused. Because you're saying he looked interested in you. Yeah, he met you on Hinge and he swiped. Unless I'm confused about how Hinge works now. I don't know. We go on Hinge and Bumble and Tinder for friends now? I don't know. Maybe that's the new age thing. I'm confused. This year, because I'm planning on moving permanently to where he lives, not for him, but for my career, I decided to text him. Okay. He doesn't know that I'm coming for good there, but he knows that I'm planning to go there soon. We texted while he was on vacation in EU and I was in CA. Or should we just say it? Are you saying EU as in Europe or are you saying EU as in something else? I'm assuming you mean he was in Europe and you were in Canada. I'm assuming that's what you mean. We texted every day, but like 1 to 2 texts a day. It led to him asking me for my number. So where did you message him? On Instagram, I'm assuming. We switched to phone text once he came back to Canada. Okay, thank you. He came back to Canada. He was very late with his replies. He said it was work and he was traveling for work, which was true. I saw it on his IG stories. He texted me back on Friday saying that he was back in Canada, and Sunday he left me on red and didn't even watch my stories. I wasn't needy because I never would double text him or text him when he didn't reply. I would love to see him in November, when I'll go there, I will stay for a week before I go back to, you just keep abbreviating them. I'm assuming you mean New Brunswick, to get my stuff ready. But I don't want to come off as needy or desperate. I'm unsure. Also, you're saying you're going to Canada. Obviously, Canada is a large place. Like, are you assuming, oh, well, maybe you already know this. Are you saying that the same place in Canada that he lives is where you live? Like that it will be close enough for you guys to meet up? Or you would actually like veer off your schedule to go from, maybe he lives in Toronto and instead of going to Vancouver, you're actually going to make a stop in Toronto or something. You didn't mention it. So I don't come as needy or desperate. I'm unsure of what to think about the situation. Is he really that busy? Is he not interested anymore? What should I do? I know I should take a step back, which I'm doing, but I really wish to meet him even as a friend. Chat, what is going on? Okay. I love you, sissy, but don't do this. Please don't do the we're friends after meeting on a dating app thing. You are not friends with people you meet on a dating app. Okay. Just stop it. Okay. I know that you're trying to soften the blow because you're feeling like he doesn't have romantic interest in you. So you're like, what should I do? Nothing. Okay. Let's go on here. Since I don't know if it will be a good fit for me yet. It's weird that I wasn't that interested in him, but now he's making me interested by ignoring me. Please guide me with your wise advice, Tomisin. Also, by the way, you're not interested because he's ignoring you. Well, partially. You're mostly interested because you're going to be in that area, and that is someone you already know is in that area. And so rather than you're starting to get anxious of the idea of being in a new area and being lonely. So now you're looking forward to how you can kind of make a relationship happen with this new guy that lives in that area so that you're not lonely right when you step foot in this new place, okay? That's what it's starting to strike me as. And so that's your anxiety is what's actually starting to make you feel like you're interested. But I don't think you're actually interested because it didn't seem that interesting to you all the time that you had him on IG and you weren't messaging him because you had no need to, because you didn't feel like you were going to see him. FYI, texts were never pineapple-y in any way, but he told me he would say that he liked how I dressed, I was very pleasant to look at, and that I was beautiful, and he looked interested in a way. I mean, yeah, of course he thinks you look beautiful in pictures. How did he meet you? Swiping right on you, clicking heart on you on Hinge. So of course he thinks you're attractive. That's literally the basis of Hinge. Do I see your pictures and think you're attractive? Cool. I click heart on your Hinge profile. Okay. So you're saying that as like a sign that he's interested in you. It's not really a sign that he's interested in you though, because any guy who's attracted to your pictures will heart you on Hinge. So, I mean, that's like every guy. And that doesn't mean that every guy who hearts you on Hinge is actually interested enough in you to build a relationship with you. Okay. Not to be mean. I just have to be real with you. We never met, but when I told him I might go to where he lives and it would be great to see him, he replied by saying, "Let me know when you know. Sounds like a lovely plan." What it sounds like to me is you're making the plan and you're doing all the effort. And someone said, Conifer says, force something is not good. And I feel like you're forcing this a little bit, okay? Truthfully and honestly, sissy, I'll be real with you. Also, he doesn't know when exactly I'm coming, and I wanted to let him know, but he left me on red. There's your answer. You already told him okay, I just want to break this down for you. Very simple, okay? You already told him that you're coming to his area. So if you're telling him that you're coming to his area and he's leaving you on red or doesn't seem that eager to know when you're coming or anything like that, he doesn't care that much. I just have to be real with you. And I don't want to double text and come off as desperate. So then this is an update here. Update, he replied, but it wasn't with a question or anything to make conversation go. What course of action do you advise me to do? I will not reply until I hear your point until I hear your point that you think of the situation. That way I don't F it up. Should I match his energy or should I play it cool or should I not tell him that I'm coming in November? Also, I'm curious to know if he has someone at this moment. How can I bring this question up? I really need your advice as this is very early and I don't want to mess it up. Just to give you a time frame, I texted Saturday evening. He left me on scene Sunday morning and replied Monday evening. And how do I get him to switch to phone calls rather than text? Okay, sissy. I have to give you a dose of reality here because I love and care about you. Okay, what you've been telling me for the most part does not strike me as a guy who really is that invested in seeing you, truthfully and honestly. I feel like it's really convenient for him that you're just going to show up magically in a place that he already is. And he's telling you to let me know because he's like, sure, whenever it is, I'll check my clock and see if I have some free days. But I don't even think in here he like, okay, here's the, let me make it very clear to you what a guy would do if he was really interested in you when you tell him that you're going to be in his area. He would say, oh, we got to plan this when you come to the area. So when you know what day you're free, okay, is it going to be a week or how long is it? He's going to start asking you questions like this. Is it going to be a week, a couple of days? You're moving here? Okay, so the first day you come in, either I got to pick you up from the airport or we got to hang out on the first day. And on the first day, okay, I got a perfect spot that you're going to love that we're going to go to on the first. Even if he doesn't know what day you're showing up, he's going to already start building the plan. That, hey, I want us to go here. There's a really cool spot that I want to take you. There's a really cool because this is his city or this is his area, right? He's the one familiar with this. You're the newcomer. So he's already going to be thinking, oh, these are all these different places that we can go. How long are you going to be? Around what day are you going to be coming? Like what month? I just want to make sure I have a clear schedule. I want to make sure I'm able to take time off. Like you'll see that once you tell him you're going to show up there, you'll see that like investment to like, okay, let's plan this and let's make this happen. And I want to make this enjoyable for both of us. And you'll sense that excitement. What you have described to me is not at all excitement here. Okay. I have not seen any excitement from his part except for, yeah, cool. So, yeah, it sounds great that you're going to be here. Let me know whenever you get here. I'll continue living my life and doing what I've been doing until you get here. Okay? It sounds like indifference to me. And the only reason that he's saying that is because you brought that up to him. This is not to be mean to you, sissy, but like I said earlier, I think what's actually stressing you out is the idea that you're going to be moving to a new place that you are probably unfamiliar with, like you said, for your career. And this is a guy that just so happened you happened to meet on Hinge before, that just so happens to live in the area that you're moving to. And so now you're thinking, okay, let's hurry up and build a relationship here or do something together here or build a situation here because you live in the area that I'm going to and I don't want to be lonely in this new place that I go to, right? And it's convenient for me now that I'm moving here. Because the reality of it is, before you knew that you were moving here, even for yourself, like literally for you, you had him on, you gave him your IG. And like you said, I didn't pay much attention to him because you were traveling at the time. So that should tell you, even within yourself, it wasn't even like he was that fascinating to you that you really wanted to build a relationship with him or get to know him. What really ended up happening is the anxiety of going somewhere new and you're like, okay, this guy's going to be here and, maybe we can build something. And so now you're thinking, let's hurry up and build something. Let's hurry up and have a relationship. But because he's playing it real cool, just really meaning that he doesn't have that much interest, now it's giving you more and more anxiety because you're like, oh my God, please have interest because I want it to be like when I touch down, I want it to be like I have like a boyfriend already or we're building something. Or like you said, this is exactly why you said that actually, that we can even just be friends, because now it's not even about being romantic. You just don't want to be lonely, which is exactly why you're saying we can just be friends, because I don't know if I'll even like you, because you don't care really about the romanticism. You just care more about not being lonely. Now, I'm saying that not to be mean to you, but I just want you to recognize what you think are feelings for him and for being in a relationship with him or building with him are not actually feelings for him. They're just feelings of anxiety, of being lonely in a new place that you go to, and you want him to fill that void of being lonely. So you're trying to hurry up and get him to be interested in you. And when he's not showing interest, that's giving you more anxiety because it's making you feel like you're going to be lonely when you go to Canada. Don't worry about that, okay? You're going to be in a new place. you're going to make new friends, and you don't have to meet your friends on Hinge, okay? And honestly, you're not going to build any good friendship out of a guy you met on Hinge anyways. Let's go to Canada. Let's touch down in Canada. Yeah, the first couple of days might be a little bit lonely. You might only have friends at work or whatever, people that you know at work. You're going to have to explore the city and build your network there in that new city, in that new place that you're in. I know it's scary, but I can assure you, you can build some great platonic friendships with people that you didn't meet on Hinge. And you don't need it to be in a friend relationship with a guy that you met on Hinge. Okay? Don't do that. He doesn't have that much interest in you. And to be honest with you, you want some direct action from me advice to give you. I honestly just think you probably should just let it die out and fizzle out. Because I truthfully don't think he has even shown you enough interest for this to be like really that relevant. And I feel like if you stop messaging him and he reaches out to you, that can at least be a sign that he has some interest here. But for the most part, I feel like you're really carrying this here. Okay. I feel like you're really carrying this here, and I feel like he's just kind of going with whatever you say. And, you know, if you end up showing up and it's convenient for him, maybe he'll meet up with you and try to sleep with you. But I don't think he's really that pressed to do so. But I also think that you're going to end up frustrating yourself the more you try to get him interested and get him in a place where he wants to take initiative and see you. And every time he seems disinterested, you're going to be more frustrated and you're going to feel like you're pulling teeth. I'd rather you just detach yourself from the situation. That way you can touch down and be like, you know what? I'm here to build new relationships with new people that actually want to spend time with me, not people that I'm trying to force to spend time with me because I don't want to be lonely. Because at the end of the day, you're only going to be more upset if you invest yourself with someone who doesn't even really care that much about you, okay? Just truthfully and honestly, I just don't think that it's that pressing for him based on what you said, okay, sissy? Angel then is our next question here. We got lots of premium questions today. You guys love the premium today. So Angel says, I gave him mixed signals. Angel says, hello, I was dating a guy 32 and I'm 27. We were talking for a little over a month. I met him at an event and he was the photographer there. Was he taking pictures of you? I thought he was really cute, but we didn't speak. He took a picture of me. I know how guys think. I'm a man. I know how men think. And then sent it to me on Insta. Oh, man. I really know how men think. And I said that as a joke, too. I just know how men think. Months later, he reaches out to me and asks me where I live and if I'm single. Okay? It turns out he does photography on the side, but he does really well for himself. We start talking and he plans a date for us that weekend. He must have really liked them pictures of you. You must have been looking really good in them pictures. Trust me. The date went really well. We were laughing at each other's jokes and went to another spot afterwards. He told me that he kept his eye on me for a while. Like I said, you must have been looking really good in them pictures. Trust me. Trust me. If he sent them to you, that means he was looking at them. He was going through them. He was like, damn, who is that? He went back into it. He scanned it. He said, who is that? Let's find her IG. Okay, trust me. It's not a coincidence. But he had to vet me before reaching out, and we both made it clear we are ready to settle down. After the date, he complimented me, gave me 2 hugs, and left. I love how you counted the amount of hugs. We texted briefly when I got home saying we enjoyed ourselves. After that, we didn't speak for 2 weeks. Interesting. What happened here? I thought it was odd because the date went really well. I spoke to my dad about him and he said I should call him. Men's advice is always, hey, how about you do the man's job? Since he's showing you no... I just think it's comical when guys say, I know that your dad means well. I just think it's comical when guys do this, when they're like, hey, see, since that guy's not showing you much interest, why don't you do his job for him and you show interest for him so that when you guys talk and, you know, see each other, it's because you reached out to him when he wasn't showing interest in you. It never works. I did that, and he expressed that he felt ghosted and thought that I was just with him for food because he sees that a lot. What? He also said he was recently in another situation where he was the one putting in most of the effort with nothing in return. I acknowledged how he felt, but also said I felt ghosted too, in a way that his reasonings for not calling me wasn't the case for me at all. Okay, unless I'm missing something massive here. You guys went on a date, which, like you said, for you, the date went well, and you thought for him the date went well as well. You guys ventured back and forth. I'm hoping you asked him questions and showed interest in him, the person as well, learned some things about him. I'm just confused where did he get the idea that you were only here for food? This is why it's starting to concern me, because it's starting to make me feel like his, the only way he feels like you are actually truly invested in the relationship is if you sleep with him, because that, or do something pineapple related with him, because that sounds like not good. Because truthfully and honestly, you can have a great date with someone who's actually invested in you. And if they're showing interest in you, but they just don't sleep with you or make out with you on that first date, that's immaturity. If he's feeling like, there's no relationship there because he doesn't make out with you or sleep with you on that first date. And that's worrying me now in that way that he responded to that. He then agreed and then planned a date for that weekend. Let's see how the next weekend goes. The date went really well too. We ended up taking and reaching common ground. I think he meant to say talking and reaching common ground. We were both confused on why we didn't speak to each other, but we understood each other a lot more after that. Let's see how much. After that date, he invited me to have dinner with him for his birthday next week. I accepted. He said his longtime friend would be there too with his girlfriend. I mean, sure, it's a birthday. Okay. His birthday dinner comes and he came to my house and we left out together. This feels like I'm being introduced to a horror story here. What's happening? We had an amazing time. We took pictures together and he posted that I was sitting across from him on his story. My face was not in it. And I met his friend. After the dinner, he came back to my house and we were watching a movie on the couch. Okay, Angel, I hope you continue to be an angel here and live up to your name. Now I'm starting to get nervy. I'm starting to sweat a little bit. He started to rub my feet. And then we started to kiss. Angel, you're supposed to live up to your name here. The kissing got a little too touchy for me, and I knew I wasn't ready for pineapples, so I got up. Okay, so far so good. I'm still nervy because the question doesn't stop there. He asked if he could lay in my bed with me, but I said maybe next time. So he slept on the couch. Okay, you did good, Angel. I'm still nervy. The next day, I texted and made it clear I'm not ready for pineapples yet, and he basically said we're on the same page. We were talking all week after that. We watched a movie on FaceTime and fell asleep on the phone together. I don't know why my heart's beating. I just feel like it's coming. I hope you're not going to disappoint me. He made plans for us to go out to a comedy show in October to laugh you out of your panties, and suggested we go to another nice dinner spot to take more pictures. I'm nervy. He assured me he enjoyed quality time with me. By the way, he's very attentive. He asked me about my family, how my family is doing, and other parts of my life, and vented to me about work, which I appreciated, just overall showing good signs. If it's so good, why do you have a question? We also have a lot in common: fitness, education, and overall lifestyle. He was traveling for work, but made plans next weekend for us to go to the movies. He said, I would love to hold your hand and take you to a movie. So cute. We went to the movies and it went well. The issue comes after. Chat, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I could just feel that you were setting us up for some sort of disappointment. Let's prepare ourselves mentally what type of disappointment we're going to have to deal with here. After the movies, he walks me to my car, and I offer to drive him to his, since we parked far from each other. When we got to his car, he was hinting that he wanted me to come over. I'm not going to lie, I was playing hard to get. Also, I was thinking how I just did laundry and didn't want to get him in my bed without a shower. I didn't tell him this. Okay, I don't know. It's funny hearing your inner thoughts. So I told him he'd have to sleep on the couch. That's when he changed his mind and went home. I felt a shift in energy because he didn't give me a goodnight kiss, so I called him, but he didn't answer the phone. I asked him if he was okay, and he said he was good and asked if I made it home safe. The next day, he's not answering my call again. I realized that I sent him mixed signals, so I offered for him to come over for Sunday dinner. Dad's advice. No response. So I reached back out and said, hey, I realized that I might have sent some mixed signals. I just wanted to be clear. I really enjoy spending time with you, and I'd love for us to talk and clear the air when you're ready. He texted back and said he's down to talk. By that time, I was asleep. He then double texted me in the morning saying, good morning, I needed some time. I said I could understand that and to let me know when he's free. Okay. I'm not going to say anything. Later that night, the presidential debate was on, so he texted me, this is very recently then, about that he texted you about the presidential debate, and we exchanged some friendly conversation. He also mentioned that he tried this peppermint tea I suggested previously. After that night, I didn't hear from him for 2 days. I texted him Friday morning saying good morning, and he replied saying good morning as well. I hope you slept well. I replied hours later to give him space and said, thanks, we haven't caught up in a while, but I hope you're okay. That's when out of nowhere, he sent me this stern message, basically saying he doesn't want to waste my time, and he tried to get over our conversation after the movies, but can't. He also said it's not about pineapples for him. Yeah. But it shouldn't have been an issue for me to be for him to be up under his person. And again, not to have pineapples to be intimate. And also, since he was traveling all week, he shouldn't have to sleep on someone's couch, and that he's better off on his own peace. Okay, I want to address something here. I know we used to have more to the message, but I want to address something important here. I won't pretend like I don't understand why he's a little bit frustrated as a guy, because he's probably thinking, I'm sleeping on your couch, so there's no level of interest here. What I think should have happened when you asked him to sleep on the couch, I don't think that if you didn't feel comfortable with him sleeping in your bed, I don't think that you needed to explain. I don't think that you were wrong in wanting that. What I think should have happened there when you did that, though, is that you should have taken that opportunity to explain to him that I don't want you sleeping on the couch because I don't like you or I don't want to be with you. See, you're a girl, and girls like reassurance. Guys also like reassurance. So obviously, guys don't like to feel like they're pursuing a woman that has no interest in them. So obviously, when you're telling him, yeah, you can come over, but you can sleep on the couch multiple times, that doesn't mean you have to go back on your word, and that doesn't mean you have to let him sleep in your bed if you're not ready for that. But explain to him your thought process, and explain to him that it's not because you don't like him or you don't enjoy spending time with him, but just because you have that boundary. But that boundary isn't necessarily going to be for forever, because obviously if you guys are in a relationship, it's not like he's going to sleep on the couch forever. And explain yourself and just be honest about what your boundary is. That way he doesn't think to, because this is what's happening here. He's psyching himself out because he's literally thinking, he's going back and forth in his own mind thinking, oh, she must want me to sleep on the couch because she really doesn't like me. But because you're not explaining to him the real reason you want him to sleep on the couch, and he's left to his own devices, he's literally convincing himself, hey, bro, stop wasting your own time because you're sleeping on the couch because she doesn't like you that much. And so that's why he's trying to pull back from you, because he does like you. But I just think he's starting to confuse himself because you're not saying anything about why you're making those decisions, okay? So there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, you got to sleep on the couch, but then explain to him, hey, the sheet's this or whatever it is or whatever that is, why you don't want him to sleep on the couch. Now, also, if you just know that you don't even want him to come over in the first place, or you don't want, like, you feel like, damn, I would only want you to sleep on my couch because of the shower and all that, blah, 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 all that other stuff, then you might as well just say, hey, I have work in the morning. I know what you did and I know why you did it, but I'm just helping you understand, like, from his own perspective as well, he might be confused. So just explain to him your thought process so he's not confused. And I feel like you should have done that in the moment instead of just saying, yeah, you know, whatever, you could just sleep on the couch, without explaining to him, yeah, you know, it's because the sheets and the shower and all this other stuff. And if that's the case, then, and if you're that worried about your sheets, then you probably should have just not even bothered with the coming over thing in the first place, right? And just made up a story about you having work the next day or having to wake up early. You understand what I'm saying? Because you don't want him to psych himself out, right? And I think that's what he did. I told him you have it all wrong because I wanted to be intimate. Okay, so that's not what I wanted you to do. I don't want you to reassure him by telling him you want to sleep with him or anything like that, okay? Just don't, just not in my bed. Okay, so whatever. But if that's how he felt, then I wish him good luck. He responded, no, what's what you said verbatim? And I said, no, you took what I said wrong. It wasn't meant to be like that. After that, I respected how he felt and thanked him for telling me. He didn't respond after that. His ego's hurt. And it's been 2 days. We both have been posting as normal with no subliminals, all positive things as normal. He watched my story yesterday, which was a very cute picture of myself, but didn't watch it today. Everything ended so abruptly, so I have come to terms with this and I've never got a chance to talk. Sorry, so you said I haven't come to terms with this. I really like him, his qualities, and he's my type to a T so far. I would love to fix it, but I feel like I've been reaching out too much. You're correct. Do you agree? I agree. Also, can this be fixed? If so, how? Do you think he just needs space to reflect, or is it over? Okay, so unfortunately, the position you're in, Angel, I wish you had messaged me before some of this happened. But the position you're in now, Angel, is where you have already done, like you said, you've done the reaching out. You've done it multiple times in multiple different ways. He is not budging on the reaching out here. Now your time to reach out has ended. He now has to choose for himself. Does he want to continue this relationship or not? And the reason I say that is because if he doesn't reach out to you anymore after this, and he can't look past this, and his ego is too hurt, unfortunately, the relationship ship has sailed. And I know it's unfortunate for you to hear, and I know that's not what you want to hear, but you can't continue. You've already made it clear that wasn't your intention, and you do like him, and you do like spending time with him. So you've already told him that. So he can't say that you didn't know that, and this and that, and da-da-da. So now that he knows that, and you've made that clear, if he chooses to still not reach out to you or speak to you because he's still mad and his ego's hurt, there's nothing more you can do. Because you can't keep putting yourself in a position where you're like, oh, because I did the one thing and then we had that one miscommunication, I'm going to keep doing more. I'm going to keep doing more. I'm going to keep doing more. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start saying, okay, so since you're mad that, you know, this miscommunication happened, I'm going to lower my standards so that you can be happy with me giving everything to you and you don't have to do anything as like a makeup for the miscommunication that we had. So what will happen is if you continue reaching out, you're going to become more and more desperate to be with him and continue this relationship. So you're going to say, okay, instead of us going on a date, you know, you can just come over tonight and you can sleep in my bed and we can get intimate and I'll spread my legs wide open and you can jackrabbit yourself inside of me for 90 seconds or less, usually less. And you're just going to keep saying yes to everything, thinking that, okay, this is my way of making up the fact that, you know, we had that miscommunication. And that's not what I want you to do. I want you to keep it where it is. You gave him an opportunity to understand where you're coming from. He's still butthurt. He still has his ego hurt. Too bad, so sad. Now, if he wants to reach out to you, he can. And if he doesn't want to do that, then you're going to move forward with your life. And I want to give you a hard, fast time limit, right? Right? Oh, you said just saying I did not reassure him that I want to be intimate. So because you said here, but I said I wanted to be intimate. But yeah, so anyways, either way, like there's no more reaching out here. If he wants to talk to you, he can reach out to you, but also you need to give yourself a time limit. He can't be doing this for a month and then reach out to you after a month and just feel like he's going to get access to you once again. Okay. There has to be a time limit here where he said, where eventually it gets cut off and you say, okay, I'm going to start moving on with my life. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. You should be able to move on with your life. So if he doesn't message you in the next 2 weeks, after 2 weeks, move on with your life. And even if he messages you after that, you're going to move forward, okay? You're not going to waste so much time on this, seeing him and chatting with him and all this stuff back and forth for all this time. You have better things to do with your time, okay? I have to run, guys, so I won't be able to stay. I can't stay too long today, but that's the show for today. Don't worry. If I didn't answer your question and it's in premium, your question is going to get answered tomorrow. Don't you worry. Going to have lots of time tomorrow to answer. I'm here every single weekday. Okay, don't you worry. Okay. All right. So if you guys also want to send in your question, please make sure to do that by going into the link in my description on TikTok or the link in my bio on YouTube. Ask your premium question or your private one, depending on which one you do. I got to answer some private questions today anyways. That's part of why I got to run. I got to make sure I keep on time with this stuff. All right. And for those of you who are wanting to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram's right above my head, right on the top left corner of the screen. It's just Tomisin_Atub. You can follow me on Instagram, see what I'm doing on a daily basis. It's right there on the bottom right of the screen as well if you're on YouTube. For those of you who are on TikTok and you want to rewatch the show because you missed parts of it and you love this so much and you're like, where can I find more of this? It's all available on my YouTube. Go over to my YouTube page, just my name right on the top right corner of the screen. You type in my name on YouTube. You click my YouTube page, go to the live section. When you're in the live section, you go ahead and you are going to be able to watch all of my live videos with the YouTube and TikTok live chat embedded in them. So you get all the context of all the information of everything that we discuss in the show. All right. So I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Someone said he's got to eat dinner. No, actually, I'm just going to get off this and I'm going to work more. Okay. More work. All right. I'm here every day, every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to be here exactly then. Figure out what time that is in your time zone tomorrow so that we're together again tomorrow. Until then, au revoir, hasta la vista, sayonara, adios, salam, what else? Ciao. I think I said all of them. Bon voyage! And I'll see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you. Someone said kuss. Is that another one? Kuss? I gotta figure out how to say that one. All right. I'll see you later.